AM and FM in Shelby, WLON in Lincolnton.
In 2019, we chop on for this team.
Ronald Acuna with a bomb to left.
For a roster filled with stars.
Swung on, missed. He struck him out.
For defending what is ours.
It's chop house bound.
Atlanta Braves opening day is Thursday the 28th against the Phillies, live from Citizens Bank Park. And we'll bring you every pitch of 2019 right here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Don't miss the Golf Shop radio show broadcast every Wednesday morning from 11 to 12. Hosts Mark Greenhalgh and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
It's time to tee it up at Kings Mountain Country Club. Open to the public 7 days a week. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $28. Play and ride 18 holes on weekends for $40. And seniors 55 and older can play and ride Monday through Friday for just $24. For your tee time, call 704-739-5871 for the Kings Mountain Country Club. 100 Country Club Drive in Kings Mountain. Carpenter Porter Funeral and Cremation Services in Cherryville is there for you in your time of need. They're a progressive and comprehensive funeral service provider, promoting the highest ethical and professional standards while maintaining cost-effective service. Funeral directors John Porter, Scott, and Hannah Garrett are there to help you and give you guidance during one of life's most difficult times. For more information, call 704-435-6711. Located at 1100 East Main Street in Cherryville and online at carpentersfuneralhome.net, a member of the National Funeral Directors Association.
It's a triple header of savings at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Save 3 big ways on 3 of your favorites. Right now, buy a brand new Kia for as low as $14,998. But hurry, only 15 are left on the lot at this low price. And right now, brand new Honda Accords start at $21,000 and save up to $10,660 on a brand new GMC truck. Yes, it's a triple header of savings at Renato Kia, Renato Honda, and Renato Buick GMC. All conveniently located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Chosen breed, you don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
And good morning, everybody. Kevin Hastings here along with Hunter Yancey and Texas Terry Reinhardt. JP was first here. Not first here. I was first here today. But JP was first here today. He said, Terry, if you need him to pick up the biscuits next time, he'll go do it.
Hey, that's not a problem. I can get him to do it.
No, JP don't want that. No, he don't want to get up an extra minute earlier to ruin his mornings. No Carson in here right now. Oh, I got a text. Let's see what it says.
So guess what? I forgot to set the clock.
Is that a shot, Jerry?
What?
I mean, that was me last week.
Oh.
I had to double check today just to make sure that my last night that my alarm was on.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Hunter.
Well, don't worry. I'll send you a text in the morning. Carson is on his way. He forgot the broadcast bag, so he'll be back. And he told Terry to quit throwing up gang signs on the YouTube channel. Is that what you're doing over here, Terry?
I'm glad he ended up, bringing.
All I know is the Super Bowl has already been won. We'll start talking about that real quick this year. Dallas Cowboys will be your Super Bowl champions.
That's the most silliest thing I've ever heard.
Take of 2019
I'm not.
So far, we're only 3 months in.
It's incredible, the delusion. I try. It's like I try to explain them when I. Well, there's a reason I'm pulling for the Browns right now. They're not trying to win anything. Is what they're trying to sell more jerseys. Terry, they're tied in last year. Didn't sell any jerseys last year, so now they got to make it.
Cleveland is trying. They are trying to build a winning team.
Yeah.
They're not just self-proclaimed.
They've been doing that for 40 years.
We've got Major League Baseball free agency to talk about. $1 billion was spent this week on 3 baseball players. So when someone asks me, "Are you gonna let your son play football?" No.
Yeah. Kyler Murray, are you listening?
Well, there's a difference, Terry. There, and we'll talk about that later. We've got NCAA. It's so hard to say that. NCHSSAAAA, Triple H, high school basketball to talk about. How about that? Is that better?
I guess.
We got NASCAR to talk about. We got racing. We've got racing all weekend on WCSL. Today we've got Michigan State and Indiana today, special broadcast at noon today, Terry. We've got Xfinity racing. We've got Tar Heel.
Is it basketball?
Yes.
Yeah. What other sport?
Well, baseball's going on right now.
We're not doing baseball broadcast. I'll tell you that. Not college. I don't think we've ever done a college baseball broadcast. We may have.
Not that I know.
Everything baseball's trying to get started right now, but Lord knows if
I'm gonna tell you something
weather
about
stays
baseball.
negative.
Just speaking of that, I know this past week, and I haven't checked what they did during this week, but I know State and Carolina both were 7-0
In baseball?
Yes.
Well, here we go. As far as what Hunter's talking about, is any high school baseball practice got underway yet?
My Lord, boy, are you talking about gym time?
Yeah. It's fundamental times. It might even be better for them at some point, but not 20 days in a row.
Here's the thing. I think baseball should just push it back a month. Push back starting just another month. I know that's hard, but every year in North Carolina, or really in any of these southern states, you know you're about to get a bunch of spring rain. And for us, we've had a bunch of winter rain. And it doesn't help. It's one, you can't practice, and two, you're going to have what's the point of even trying to reschedule these non-conference games when it's just going to rain?
Well, also real quick, Terry, on that, go ahead and say what you're saying, then I'll probably have something. You'll probably say something I'm about to say too.
West Lincoln started out 2-0, and then they got East Lincoln coming up already. I mean, that's how quick they're jumping from having non-conference games into starting regular season.
I think that's fine. If you only played 2 non-conference games, go right ahead.
Well, what about this, Terry? With the pitching rules now, where you can't throw more than 30 pitches without having to come out, and the girls can throw 700 pitches. I know it's a different arm motion. I know it's a different science, but baseball survived for 100 and something years without being able to only throw whatever pitches there are now.
How if you're a prospect and you only get to watch, and a scout comes to watch you, you better throw the best 30 pitches you've ever thrown.
You better.
Or
you
else
better not have a bad night.
Yeah, don't you have a bad night?
You're gonna start having kids that are 16 play AAU baseball or some type instead of high school baseball, or do something, because if they're not gonna let you.
Well, they always
you throw. I think it affects the games the wrong way. The game of baseball wasn't made for pitch counts. Cy Young would throw 275 pitches in a game. Nolan Ryan would go out there and do what throw his 150 every game.
There are times, and I'll put it like this: there are times when I think maybe we go to an exception. I remember the kid from Highland Tech a few years back. He threw like 160 some. In a game. Now, sometimes that's quite a lot for one young man out there. Now, then you're going to bring you back the very next game for him to play again. You need to watch what you're doing, but these kids are young. Do I think they should be a limit? If you're using the same guy every game.
Well, I think that in high school should be a rule. You can't do back-to-backs.
Yeah.
You got to give your arm a rest.
I agree.
That's how you wear yourself out, and that's how you get some serious injuries. But if they did that, then I think there shouldn't be a pitch count limit. I think you just can't go back-to-back.
I don't know. The whole...
Because that should go on coaching. If your pitcher has gotten up there in the pitch count, well, obviously it's showing he's not striking out players. Yeah. He's throwing a lot of balls. That should be on the head coach to say, hey, you're struggling. We're going to pull you before you can really just throw your arm out tonight.
It's also on the parents and the players, okay? Another point is only 0.001% of these people are actually making it to who.
You're right.
There you go.
If I go out there and throw too many pitches one night, it's just I don't know. I think what it affects, Terry, is strategy and gameplay of the game of baseball more than it does actually more than we're saving arms or saving kit. Like who's the arbiter of 85 pitches is okay, but 100 will make your arm fall off and we need to stop. Like, what's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
what's the exact
I
point? Because sidearm pitchers, you know, softball players can throw how many pitches they want. So the sidearm pitchers get more pitches than the overhanders? I mean, is that not a legitimate argument? How about this? What if I throw 75 pickoffs to first base? That don't count. How about pitches between innings? You're supposed to get 8. What if I say, umpire, I only want 2 between innings? Do I get 5 extra pitches in the game? See what I'm saying? We're throwing balls the whole game that we're not counting as pitches. So we say 85 pitches is the limit. Well, Johnny threw 85 pitches, but he also threw 120 because he threw it to second base and first base and the catcher and this person and that person and warm-ups. So they're not actually throwing the 85. So I think, and when it comes down to it, I went to last year 5, 6, 7 maybe baseball games before, you know, either between broadcasting or watching. I bet half of them were affected by the pitching rule.
So what is the new pitching rule?
Well, I don't know.
I was going to say, because if it's 30.
We don't want to get into all that. I don't want to get into the exact details.
About it.
I was just making
I was about to say, ain't no way it's 30. That's
I was
three,
just saying,
it
just gets ridiculous.
For 10 batters that he's done.
I think your pitching count, to me, cares more about kids who are coming up in AAU and at a younger age. I'm going to say 9 and 10 years old. When you got a pitcher out there that should be just throwing fastballs, learning how to do that, and they got him out there throwing curves and everything else that you can throw.
Don't teach a kid junk until they're.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that's when it comes into a bad situation, because then you're trying, to me, that kid's arms is not developed to be able to throw pitches like that. I think at that age you need a pitch count, because, I mean, I have seen kids who are 9 and 10 years old, and they're out there throwing curves, and I'm like, I understand what you're trying to do.
I'm talking high
school.
school. I'm talking high school. I'm talking high school.
But I'm saying younger groups, you need a pitch count.
I'm talking the high school in North Carolina. We're these are almost adults that can make adult-like decisions here with parents and coaches and everybody. We've done this.
When you're younger, think about it. Those kids at most are playing for participation trophies. But when you're on the high school level and you're playing for state championships and conference championships or scholarship to go get to the next level, there should be no limitation to keep you from getting there. Oh, I threw too many in maybe the first 2 or 3 innings in the state championship game, and it's your ace.
Look, if you're a pitcher and you don't want to throw over 100 pitches, at 105, coach, my arm's hurt.
Yeah, just
arm's sore.
Yeah, but here's your deal.
Wouldn't that just solve
I'm going to ask Carson. Here's your deal in behind it. Say you got a kid out there, and all of a sudden, coach decides to leave you out there, and all of a sudden he messes up his arm. Next thing you know, he's got Tommy John. Who are they going to blame? They're going to blame that coach.
Yeah.
For leaving him out there too long.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's part of your job as a coach is, having that feel for your players. Like, you have to be able to recognize the difference between, maybe he doesn't have stuff because it's not his night, and maybe he's not pitching as well because there's something wrong. That's part of your job as a coach is to realize that. I mean, among 1,000 other, things you have to do as a high school coach. But, I
don't know if it's up to the coach to decide if you're injured or not. Because most of the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, not necessarily that, not decide that you're injured, but notice that you're not right.
Listen, the reason the reason if it's the coach's fault is because he don't want to lose a game and he leaves a guy in for so many innings because he don't have any. That's what this whole thing is about. Which, and like I said, in fairness, anytime I know I'm different than other people, and some people are different. But anytime that my arm started getting hurt and tired, I wanted to get out of there anyway because I don't want my arm hurt and I want to play shortstop.
I've thrown my arm out twice. I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
And it's something where, I mean, like in tryouts, if you're a freshman and I only have so many throws, and that's I can play and everything, but I can't go to the coach and be like, hey, coach, listen, I know I'm right. I can only, while we're warming up, let me only throw about 10 to 15 times. That's enough for me. That's not going to work. Nobody's ever going to listen to you. Coach is especially not going to listen to you if you're saying that better.
If you say that, he's going to say, oh, so you don't. Oh,
so you don't want to play, yeah.
Carson, you're exactly right because I threw so many balls at shortstop every single day. So and I wasn't a starter, so when I went to pitch, I'll go to warm up. I like 5 balls. I just wanted my release point. I want to throw I had like 4 different release points. I want to throw my curve in each one. Yeah. And once I find the release points, I'm good to go. I don't need to warm. I've been warm up for days. I've been throwing balls from shortstop all day. But And like I said, when you do go warm up on the mound, does those count as pitches? Like, what if I want?
Well, that's
so silly.
I mean, that was one of the things that they were talking about adding to Major League Baseball to speed up the game is you only get a certain number of warm up pitches. I think it was like either 3 or 5. It's not that many, and I mean, you don't need them.
You do not need
to stand
what's in the first inning? You need them from then on. You don't need them.
Yeah, why are you warming up in the bullpen if you need 10 pitches out on the mound?
Also, in most Major League ballparks now, they could go in the tunnel and throw if they really wanted to.
Oh yeah, you can long toss in that tunnel. Yeah.
And then I'm glad you brought up the long toss, and that's the most important thing is that even if you're not pitching in the game. That day you're long tossing and throwing anyway, so that you're throwing all the time. The pitchers are going to pitch. Chris Mason threw the ball every single day. He threw. And then it never stopped. So that's what I always question about. And he's out here throwing 99, just rocking his arm out here every night. And he went center field. He didn't hold up when he threw one into the infield and shortstop. He ain't get a cutoff man yet, Terry. I mean, I'm out there waving my arm. My whole purpose when the ball was hit to Mason was go out there and wave at him as the ball went by my face.
Line up so he knows what to throw over.
Right by my face, Chris, because I know you're going to throw it about 10 feet over my head or I can't get it anyways. They're not holding up. Anyway, we got a little rant there about the pitching thing. So, all right, we got high school baseball coming up. Well, we hope. It rained out this past week. Tuesday we've got on the schedule, but we may have basketball Tuesday in some of these spots. But Cherryville, we do not have basketball. The game Tuesday, Cherryville and Highland Tech has actually been switched spots to Cherryville. So I don't know the exact. That's what. Maybe I said I don't know the exact. I could read my text word for word, couldn't I? And give you the exact. Yeah. Let's see what Milton the Baker man says about that. All right. Cherryville rescheduled March 22nd at Cherryville. That's the game last night. Piedmont Patriots is now March 22nd. Doubleheader, 4:30 p.m. in Cherryville, March 22nd. For you Ironman fans, Tuesday next week, Highland Tech has been moved to Cherryville, so that's a game at Cherryville High School. So
well, next week is Easter tournament, isn't it? Or no. I'm thinking of. I'm on my spring break next week.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Easter is April.
But yeah.
Late April.
Yeah.
Like my birthday, April.
Yeah. Looking at the schedule, it's like the 25th, I think, this year. Is that what you want to claim? Is that the one you want? That's the mythical superhero you want to go. You're going with.
Oh God.
I don't know how to break it.
That's the most terrifying one.
The Easter Bunny.
That's the most terrifying one in the little malls. Like, yeah, I understand Santa Claus. I don't understand why you have a giant bunny rabbit.
A giant bunny with eggs. Bunnies don't lay eggs. That's a fun fact, kids. There's a scientific
Have you
fact
never
for you
seen the
today.
Cadbury commercials? Every time, if it's on TV, it's
How old
real.
are those commercials?
Yeah, if it's on TV, it's real. Just like the internet, it's real.
Yeah, just like the internet.
Right, Terry?
We're on the internet, so we're real.
Yeah. Wave at everybody. Hey, you too.
Well,
happy Saturday morning. Lincoln County last night, we were supposed to have South Iredale, East Lincoln. It was rained out. Tuesday, we're supposed to have Newton Conover at Lincoln. However, if East Lincoln is still playing basketball Tuesday, we'll have that game on WLON. Tuesday night on baseball, it's supposed to be Burns at Ashbrook. There's the game, Carson.
There it is.
Now, we have Kings Mountain and Shelby still in the playoffs, so there's a good chance we will not have that game Tuesday. Kings Mountain and Shelby both. Kings Mountain goes to Charlotte Catholic tonight, and we will have Mountain Heritage at Shelby tonight, and we're going to break that down in just
Kings
a second.
Mountain, Charlotte Catholic, another playoff matchup, just like how it was in football. Maybe they'll have a different outcome.
Yes.
What do you think? Catholic's the higher seed, isn't it?
They were the higher seed in the other game as well.
So on the Wednesday show, I went through the brackets, guys, and that was before the Thursday game. So just after the first round, for example, JP, we're going to go about 10 more on this one. So, for example, in the 1As, Terry, of the 16 teams that won, we're just talking about the West, 8 of them charter schools.
I can believe that. That's every
8
year.
of 16. Now, we move to the 3A, where Charlotte Catholic's at. How many in the 3A made the round of 16?
In the 3A?
Mm-hmm.
2.
1. You're right at it.
Well,
One
I was
team.
going with Hunter.
Charlotte Catholic was the only team. The rest of them public schools.
Yeah.
So there's a big weight there.
But most of your charters are in 1A.
That's what I'm saying. It's not. It's so not fair to the 1As. How many of those 1As can beat those 3As?
Probably quite a few.
See what I mean? So we talk about all of it. It's not fair to these 1As, but we're gonna get to that bracket in a minute. Let me back out and do the 1A while we've got it. We'll start in the women's, Terry. What about that? We'll go over all over our local teams.
It's Murphy, Cherokee, and
Murphy and Cherokee are not local teams.
Well, I know that, but I mean they're still in it. East Surrey.
They're local
Cherokee.
to each other.
Lincoln Charter hosted Cherokee and got beat by Cherokee 68-35 in girls basketball. I would bet on Cherokee about every time wherever they're playing until they get to Winston-Salem Prep. They play East Surrey tonight, the 1 seed. Anyone
back up to the top right there. Union Academy. There they are.
Union, that's from our conference, isn't it?
Yep. Now it is.
Well, now it is. Yeah, that's the women's.
Football, yeah.
Okay, so that's the women's 1A, and from our local schools. Let me back out. We'll go to the women's 2A. Probably should have pulled all these up earlier with our slow internet. Well, listen. Tonight we've got Wheatmore at East Lincoln in Denver tonight.
And men's.
I don't really know much about Wheatmore. They squeaked by South Point. Have you seen South Point this year, Carson?
Yeah, they if they're squeaking by South Point, I have to imagine East Lincoln's not going to have any problem with them.
East Lincoln, I did the game Thursday night, and against Lexington Orange Yellow Jackets. Have y'all seen their logos?
Like the trucking company that's called Yellow but is orange?
Did they bring barbecue?
Well, they're the Lexington Yellow Jackets. They brought no barbecue for Terry. And their school colors, y'all, they are the Syracuse Orangemen. The colors-wise.
But they're Yellow Jackets.
They're the Yellow Jackets. They have big orange Yellow Jackets, and it says Yellow Jackets, but they're orange.
Yeah, it's like the trucking company, Yellow, that's orange.
That's so hard. And so, anyway, there was a lot of orange in the gym the other night against East Lincoln. Just because of that.
that simply, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it's like the Yellow Jackets are coming down. They
oh,
come in
boy.
black and orange, and I'm like,
there was somebody from East that said, I was wondering if the wrong school came into town.
They're the new breed, man.
That triggers me. I'm like,
new breed.
That triggers me.
There's no, why would you, you're the Orange Jackets. You're the Orange Jackets.
That would be so much easier.
Yeah, what is it? Just change your name. They're making people change their names all the time. What is it?
What do you think the apparel people think when they send that
false advertising. That's false advertising.
What do you think the apparel people? What is it? Under Armour, whoever does their jerseys, say when they send that? Their jerseys actually they look more like Boise State than they did Syracuse. They had blue jersey, all blue jerseys with orange and gray, but it was still the orange yellow jackets.
Awful.
I knew Hunter would like that.
Worse. That makes it worse. See, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, they're just
their jerseys look like that
orange.
website, really, that we're looking at the high school.
If I was one of those students, I would rebel.
Call themselves the Blue Jackets.
Like the Blue Jackets, I don't care. Change it to Blue Jays. Shoot, a yellow jacket is yellow, not orange.
Anyway, East Lincoln takes on the Wheatmore Warriors.
Wheatmore Warriors.
I'm triggered. That makes me so mad.
Hunter, gosh, we can't take him anywhere. But, okay, East Lincoln. I've seen them both now between them and Shelby. Try to break them down. The other night, East Lincoln shot pretty bad in the first half from the from the 3-point line. I think Bean was like 1 of 6 or something like that, and then ended up with 18 points and on all threes. East Lincoln, at halftime, the score was 32-29. 46-22 later, East Lincoln wins. And I couldn't tell you one thing that they did different in the second half other than Lexington just it wasn't even that, Terry. They did score more points, but Lexington they didn't hit anything. It was like they had 2 players that East couldn't deal with pretty good. The point guard was excellent, left, right-handed, finishing around the basket. So it looked like this is what their team looked like. They had it listed as 6'9". If he's 6'9", I'm 6'2". He was more like 6'6". They had him who was great around the basket, but he was kind of slow in the feet. So Kuthan
that's a ball player.
He really is. Kuthan and Dollar ate him up inside, being quicker than him. He still got almost a double-double. But the kid could play. He was a good player. And then their point guard, Dearman was really good, and then the rest of the team looked like running backs. Like it was a whole team of running backs. Everybody was about my height, and everybody was like 5'8", 5'9", and just short. And then it was those two guys were really good, and then all running backs out there. But they were like I said, they did good in the first half.
It's a game where you can dominate if you only got one player. Not against East Lincoln right now.
And so East ended up pulling away. You're right, Kuthan. You've seen him play.
And he's only, I think, a junior.
His father's our McDonald's sponsor, so when you hear the McDonald's commercials, that's them. And he surprised me with how quick he was. There's a difference between being able to dunk and being able to dunk drop step, and he's drop stepping and dunking it, and being able to get up that quick and dunk. He was doing well.
How tall his father is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to put his picture in the paper every week, and we have to turn the camera because the kids are all here, and the McDonald's managers. We can put logos up in the corner to fill space.
His son is not quite his father.
Not yet.
His father,
not yet.
Yeah, like I said, he's a junior.
Yeah,
he's just a junior.
He's got really good hands around the basket.
He's got good feet.
Good feet, everything. I was surprised. They're going to be tough to deal with that. Shelby, when they play
Dollar
with.
is just very athletic, obviously. It's hard to beat athleticism, but Kuthan, he is just a polished basketball player.
I tell you where, see if you agree with me on East. I think their problem they may have, and specifically with if Bean's not hitting, somebody else has to hit.
Yeah.
The other thing is ball handling for me. They don't have a point guard that they can give to that you have to double team. Like you can guard their ball handlers man to man if you want. I'm not saying they're bad.
No.
What I'm saying is that Quay Kimball at Shelby had to be double teamed. Gabe DeVoe at Shelby had to be double teamed.
And that's what you're saying is like they don't have to double team their guard, but they can just double team Dollar.
Right.
And you can take Dollar completely out of the equation because Dollar, even he doesn't have good handles. He's just got the speed to get by and the explosiveness to go up and over.
I'm going to say this about Dollar. I've seen a lot of dunkers, a lot of players in the area. Terry, have you seen him in person dunk yet?
Yes.
I didn't. The last 2 years I didn't see it. I thought he was just in the average range of dunkers. Now he's one of the best ones I've seen because not only does he get up there, he can dunk it with power too. And he dunks it with a lot of power. And to be able to do that, you're up there knowing that you can come down with
football,
it.
Isn't he?
No, he's going to Lees McRae play basketball. So they're going to have Quay Kimball.
His brother went to Charlotte.
Quay Kimball of Shelby.
Yeah, I knew he went to Charlotte. I didn't know because they said Dollar was just Sydney was a good football player too. I mean, I saw him play football.
Cameron was there Thursday night too.
Every time I was there, Cameron was there watching. But I mean, they had the off season.
And Charlotte's
right now
Charlotte from Charlotte to Denver is not far, especially UNC Charlotte.
16.
He probably might still live at home.
Yeah, really.
It's like a 30-minute drive at most.
So he's going to Lees McRae. They call it Dunk Mountain, is what they call Lees McRae.
That gym is tiny up there.
I haven't been to it. They got Quay Kimball. They've got of Shelby. They got Jarrett Haynes of Crest. Now they'll be adding Sidney Dollar here of East Lincoln. I don't know what they do to get the recruits now. You know, those guys aren't the A-level recruits, but they're pretty decent recruits, especially in our area. They're getting the best players in our area, so they're going to have a decent.
They must have a decent scholarship then. Like when they have the offer, they're saying, "Hey man, we're gonna pay."
Here's my thing. Have you ever been up there, Terry?
At Lees McRae?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the coldest place.
Yeah.
I tell people
it doesn't matter if it's July.
I tell people all the time that's the coldest place in North Carolina. No matter what anybody says about Boone or Asheville or Mount Mitchell, or saying Lees McRae, Banner Out, that's past Beach Mountain. Let me say this: Beach Mountain is the highest, coldest ski slope there in the area, and this past that.
Yeah.
You just keep on going.
Yeah.
I've got friends that
how they get my question is how they get recruits there. I have no idea. They must have a good Adidas contract like State does, Terry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we got.
Is that what it
She did there. I see what
Terry. All right, East Lincoln hosts Wheatmore. If they win, they will host the winner of Walkertown and East Rutherford on Tuesday, who upset Hendersonville. East Rutherford, not a bad team. Shelby's beat them. I've seen them beat them twice in the last week. So East Lincoln, if they play like they should, I think they may be walking here to the regionals here in Hickory, Terry. Now, if they do that, they could be facing Shelby. Shelby's got to beat Mountain Heritage tonight, and then they've got to get through Forest Hills on Tuesday maybe. Forest Hills the 2 seed. A lot of people saying they're really good. Now, here's the thing about Shelby. If you don't know about them, they play in 2 shifts of 5s. They actually have a 3rd shift. It's the victory shift that comes in when they're up 20 late in the game. But Aubrey Holyfield throws them out there. They press the whole game. They're attacking. And they're going to bring 10 guys. They bring 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes. It's coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
Mount Heritage has 9 players, Terry. Now they got a big man.
Yeah,
that's Shelby's. That'll be Shelby's Achilles.
You would think that Thursday night, though, me and Tom at that game, Mount Pleasant had 5 guys. The tallest player on Shelby is Isaiah Best. He's 6'4". They had 5 guys taller than him. They had a 6'5", 6'7", or 2 6'7s, a 6'8", and a 6'6". And Shelby had no problem with it.
Yep.
Because they were bigs that like to sit out on the perimeter.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Once they got down low and once they started running zone, they were a lot more. They could use their size defensively. Mm-hmm. But then at that point, when they started using the zone, Shelby was already up by so much that they started running 4 corners, and you had to pull out of the zone, go to man. And Shelby, the thing about it was, I mean, me and Tom talked about it. Like, yes, size is important, especially in rebounding, but Shelby is so much faster to the spot, and that's what it is in rebounding more than anything, is getting to a spot and positioning. And that was Jack Hollifield. We weren't keeping rebounding stats. We should have, because Shelby was at least plus 10 or plus 15 on offensive rebounding.
How many rebounds does Jack just get by position? They just kind of fall in his lap.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it's going to be hard to get a high school power forward who's not the perimeter big man.
Yeah.
That they don't want to deal with that down low. And see, that's what we used to have a guy that did it. They were twins, and one of them tore his ACL. So we could have had 2 of them down there, but we had an enforcer linebacker like that, and because we didn't have a big, we had another guy that were 2 6'2s. It was pretty much just like Shelby, skilled big man with Isaiah, and the big strong man of Jack linebacker. Pretty much the exact same thing. What ended up killing us was the 6'8" guy who likes to be down low and skilled. Because then he could just lay it in over our heads, and so if you don't have that, you're saying that they didn't. Mountain Heritage didn't, or
Mount Pleasant. Yeah, they just. I mean, they like to say they had size and they had depth with size, but I don't know. There was the 6'8" kid. Probably the first 2 minutes of the game, he was in the corner right in front of me and Tom, and Jack probably gave him 5 or 6 feet of space, and he just gave him a little smirk, and then I don't know what that did to Jack Hollifield, but he within the next 3 minutes took 2 charges, probably grabbed 4 rebounds, 3 of them were offensive rebounds over that over that kid, and I mean it'd be interesting to see, because I mean that's what we were looking at. Obviously size is something you can't coach, but it matters how you use them in the scheme. As much as anything.
Terry, this may be the biggest game in the East tonight. Farmville Central and Kinston. There's some state championships in there. All right, so Shelby wins tonight. They would host. They would go to Forest Hills. If Forest Hills wins, they would.
Forest Hills is really good.
Yep, they would host North Davidson if they win. So Tuesday night maybe on the road, and then if they can win that, they could face off. Let's see, and that's game 59 and game 60. So they would play each other. So East and Shelby could play if they win the next 2.
Well, that would be up at the regional. Yeah.
It would either be at CVCC or Lenore-Ryan. Those are the 2 regional locations.
I like that. I'm glad that they first of all that they have the West regional in the West, and that they're going to smaller schools like CVCC and Lenore-Ryan.
Yeah, I'd like to see a UNC Charlotte.
Really.
It's indoors, guys. Appalachian's got a nice basketball gym. Go up the mountain, enjoy a February. It's March.
It is.
It's cold.
I know this, Hunter. See, I went there, and and we would go to spring break, be on the beach for a week,
and come back,
enjoying the ladies, and the scenery. And come back, and everyone you see looks like an Eskimo still because it's a foot of snow on the ground. The spring is way worse than the fall. The fall is a breeze. All right, JP's been waving at me for an hour. We got all kinds of commercials to get to in a minute, folks. We're going to take a couple of quick breaks, but we want to get through all this high school stuff this morning, get you informed about tonight and this week. So tonight we've got Shelby and Mountain Heritage on WHS, and then we've got East Lincoln and Wheatmore on WLON. And then we also, Carson tonight will be back here to do the post-game show. We didn't do it last night, Terry, because of all the rainouts, and then tonight we've got playoffs. So we said, let's move it to tonight, because then Carson can talk about the Tar Heels today. I know he'll be excited about that, them and Clemson.
I'm glad you get to do that, Carson.
Yeah. I am.
Talking about this, I'll call you.
Yeah.
I'll call you.
Yeah, and I'll be like, all right, here's the Tar Heel segment punter. I'm going to go in the other room.
You can talk about the Hornets' big win last night.
Yeah, they actually used Frank Kaminsky. Did you see that? He actually played.
The human victory torch.
You want to know what's so funny? And I'll say this, and we can just get at it.
Yeah.
When I was at the Washington Wizards game, there was a whole slew of people sitting behind us that were big Frank Kaminsky fans.
Oh God!
And he was out there.
He does got a Frank. Were they Charlotte fans with? Yeah, he's got a fan club.
He's got a little fan club.
He does.
And they were screaming Frank, and of course Sam Decker is with him, and they both played at Wisconsin. Sam Decker is with the Wizards, so he was out there, and they were talking. Well, Frank was launching like deep threes and just draining them during the half.
That's all he can do.
And I was like,
what did he do? Hit on Borrego's wife? He had to do something.
He can't rebound. He's 7 feet tall and he can't average 4 rebounds.
Well, I mean, it's not like they're killing it. Charlotte Catholic and Kings Mountain tonight at Charlotte Catholic. Get over to see that. They play the winner of that. Will play Southwest Guilford against Southern Guilford. I think that's
it's an all Guilford County matchup.
Who named those schools? What?
They got so many schools over there.
Who named that? Southwest and Southern. Get out of here. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes, JP, on KTC Broadcast.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with my co-host Jordan Davis, who had a huge number 1 last year with Singles You Up.
I kind of set the bar pretty high with that one.
I think so.
No, that was a massive song for us and a lot of fun. Still one that we look forward to playing every night.
That's Jordan Davis this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com. It's a triple header of savings at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Save 3 big ways on 3 of your favorites. Right now, buy a brand new Kia for as low as $14,998. But hurry, only 15 are left on the lot at this low price. And right now, brand new Honda Accords start at $21,000 and save up to $10,660 on a brand new GMC truck. Yes, it's a triple header of savings at Renato Kia, Renato Honda, and Renato Buick GMC. All conveniently located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com. There's no one like you. And Pandora Jewelry is opening up all kinds of possibilities to show that to the world with the new open bangle. Beautifully crafted from sterling silver with new interchangeable end caps. You can mix, match, and even have the freedom to customize like never before. Shop the new open bangle from Pandora Jewelry now and do see the wonderful Pandora Jewelry. Available at Facet Foundry Jewelry Studios, 530 South New Hope Road, Gastonia. Online at FacetFoundryJewelry.com. From auto to home to business to life insurance, your hometown agent is Rocky Bennett at Bennett Insurance Group. Rocky has been serving this area for over 33 years, offering you the best in coverage with Erie Insurance. No matter your claim, Rocky will work side by side with you for your best coverage. See Rocky Bennett today at Bennett Insurance Group, 116 West Main Street in Cherryville. Call 704-435-0270 for Bennett Insurance in Cherryville.
Attention homeowners. With more buyers than sellers, now is the perfect time to sell your home. For over 25 years, Moss Realty has known there is more to selling your home than placing a sign in the yard. To sell your home in days, even hours, trust the hometown specialist at Moss Realty. Satisfied customers have voted Moss Realty best of Gaston the last 2 years.
Hi, I'm Warren Moss. When you're buying or selling your home, call the professionals at Moss Realty or visit mossrealty.com. Moss Realty, your hometown specialist.
Terry, are you the incredible man? That's
I think according to what I saw earlier, he at least loves this song. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was feeling himself. He was feeling himself.
Terry, I saw you.
I'm glad you was watching.
All right.
I saw it.
Thank you guys for continuing to stick with us this morning. Kevin is here. He is just doing some audio work right now. He's our audio engineer for the moment. He is doing some hearing, some testing. Just making sure we're all on, we're all on our P's and Q's right now. All on our P's and Q's.
We're on the radio, Hunter.
Oh, he made a good point.
Don't forget,
and don't forget the Mitchem's Kitchen. God, what is this? Yeah, show the people.
Steak,
Carson, what are you eating?
Steak, egg, and cheese, baby.
Steak, egg, and cheese. Terry, what'd you have this morning?
I had oatmeal, bacon, scrambled eggs.
Terry had a
Delicious.
full breakfast, man.
Delicious.
I think Kevin said he had a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. I think that's what Kevin said he had, and I had an egg and cheese biscuit. Hey, that was a big piece of egg that I got.
I gave
from
JP a biscuit this morning.
Yeah.
And that
Yes,
thing
it was a
as
very
big as-
big
It wouldn't
biscuit.
even
It was
come
large.
through the door.
Really?
It was so big.
Really?
Yeah, I know,
JP.
but I feel a little back down, Terry, because he has a full feast. We get pitiful biscuits.
Whoa! Now you can
Come
change
on
it
with
at
that.
any time. Don't bite the hand that feeds JP.
I'm not biting it. I'm just saying. I'm
His
just
biscuit
saying.
was barely able to get through that door to give to
Terry
JP.
had to bring it in
Hey,
on a
I
dog.
was here. I was the second one here.
Right.
Kevin was first.
Yes. Now JP wasn't good though.
Oh, it was fantastic.
That's all we need to know.
It's not there anymore.
It's not there anymore. That's what I'm saying.
Oh
Mine's
no,
gone.
I had that
Working
done
on
before y'all even got in the door.
704-27-1155.
Yeah.
Mitchem's Kitchen, Robin, Carol, they'll take care of it.
Mitchem's Kitchen. Go down there today and tell them that Saturday Morning Sports Talks boys sent you.
And they'll make you pay double.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with that, I want us to transition in because people think football's over.
JP,
Well, guess what?
JP, they'll give you a full plate whenever you show up on time 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Pitiful biscuits.
There you go.
All right, I hope
He
we're
just
not
ate a
going.
9-pound biscuit.
Well, here, okay, we'll get.
All right.
It was a good biscuit. I wasn't
So-
complaining about that.
So Hunter and Terry Carson, before you got here this morning, I had to listen to about 10 minutes of them whining
It
about
wasn't 10 minutes. Okay.
7.5 of them whining
Yeah.
about them having to hear the name Kyler Murray.
Oh, no, we're saying that again. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah,
So-
bleep it out.
Keep
Bleep
it
it out.
counter.
So me and Carson's going to talk about Kyler Murray for a minute and make you two listen to this.
But here, let me say this. People think
Oh, my
no,
God.
it's not about Kyler. People think football is over. Well, let me tell you what. It's just beginning, okay? Free agency is coming up in about a week.
Baseball is just beginning. Let's
Whoa,
get that
whoa.
straight.
We got combine, free agency, trade talks, and not to mention the draft still to come in April. Then baseball can start. We all know baseball really doesn't start till after the All-Star break, just like the NBA. Okay, so
Can I
sorry.
start this?
162.
I mean,
games is a
when I
lot.
started this segment, I said Carson and I
Yeah.
Go
are
ahead.
going
Go
to talk
ahead.
about
Me and-
are going to talk
Go
about
ahead. Talk
Kyler
about
Murray.
midget. Okay.
Okay.
So he's 5'10".
Yeah.
What did Russell Wilson?
He's about to.
measure?
He's
Let-
about
let
what,
me
4
say-
inches.
let me
four
say
and a- or
this.
a half an inch.
Let me
something.
say this
Go ahead.
for all non-6 foot tall quarterbacks out there.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter between 1 to 2 inches. Now, if he's 5'6", maybe
If he was 5'8",
But
what would you have said?
nothing. Because what's
He's
this?
he's
hold
been
on.
that height his whole life. He's learned to make those passes.
What exactly?
He's learned to move in between linemen and find the
I
passing
would bet
lanes.
you know how much money I would bet if we come out and had some type of throwing combine like they do at the NFL thing, that I could outthrow how many billions of people are on this earth? 3 billion people?
7.5.
Let's say I could throw at least.
Last time you saw that number.
Let's say I could outthrow 3 billion of them that are 6 foot tall and over right now. Yeah. So what I'm saying is the height, like Carson said, he's been this height his whole life. He's been throwing between the linemen his whole life. Once you get to the NFL, so 6'4", let's see, Foles is 6'6", right? Yeah. What's the average lineman? Aren't they about 6'5", 6'6" anyway? It's not like he's looking over his lineman either, and he's the tallest quarterback out there. So what I'm getting at is that you're looking at lanes and other stuff. Now, I haven't even seen Kyler Murray enough to even make any of this stuff.
And real quick, one other thing. Think about an offensive lineman. They're not standing straight up at 6'6". They are in an athletic position. Their knees are bent, and they're moving, yeah.
Okay. So I was watching Chris Carter. He's my favorite football analyst when they break down the actual the players individually, and he was talking about Murray. You know how in today's age, Terry, everybody we see, is he Michael Vick? Is he this guy? Is he I've seen people compare him to Barry Sanders.
I saw Joel Klatt come out and say he was a better runner coming out than Michael Vick was in college.
Yeah, and so he's silly.
Wow.
And Chris Carter told him that. What Carter was trying to explain about the running part, and he says, I see what Joe's saying, but it's a different type of runner. Michael Vick's the fastest runner we've ever had at quarterback. There's not even a question about it. And he was the fastest on the field. He got a lane that was straight, go through. But what Vick also did, he was big enough to run through tackles. People don't give him enough credit. DBs didn't just knock him over. If linebackers and defensive ends gave him.
Vick was short, but he's not this short.
Yeah, he's not this short.
And he had a cannon.
So what Carter was saying was that the defenses against Kyler Murray will have to. And what they don't do against Cam and say Vic, against Cam and Vic, they're worried about the run. He said Cam's effective because he just keeps doing it over and over and over, and he's big. He said Vic was effective because he was faster than everybody on the field. You had to account for that. He said what Kyler Murray will be effective at in his running will be the lanes when they open up because he can throw the ball with accuracy. So what he said what will happen is that's where Kyler will run. He said they're not going to get out there and run running plays for Murray because he's not that type of a runner. He's got to have he said he's got to have space to be able to get into it. So that was Chris Carter's breakdown of that. So that was what I wanted to get into the show before you two get crazy about him. Like I said, I don't know. It's amazing to me though how we get on these quarterbacks and they're the hottest thing ever, and then as soon as
one struggle,
let's say Joe Flacco, Eli, Romo, as soon as we see one little thing, we want to throw them out the door. I'm like, well, you got to have somebody to replace them.
Oh, I know.
Who was Hackenberg? Are we going after? We're going to the AFL to get Christian Hackenberg?
No, he's been benched.
So what are you doing? So what are we doing? So anyway, Terry and Hunter. Go ahead.
One more. Real quick, just two things. First off, did you see Kyler Murray added 17 pounds? So obviously,
yeah, he needed to.
Did he?
What's it? Yes,
he did.
What's going to be his playing weight?
He went from 190 to 207. My whole thing is
he went from 190 to 207. So he did it just for the weigh-in. That's like how boxers do. His playing weight's going to be in the 190.
And see, my thing with that
is get folded.
He uses his speed to do things, and when you gain 17 pounds, you're going to slow down.
I want you to remember this. Like, okay, he weighed in at 207. At the time, people were saying Russell Wilson was chunky, so he weighed in at 205. His playing weight is like, at that height, 220.
Obviously, the kid's going to get picked. Who's going to get him, Terry, in the first round? Somebody's going to get him. It's obvious. That's obvious.
Terry, I'll let you go before I rail
someone here in the
him.
First round is going to get him. Hunter's team, the Redskins, have been mentioned in this. They've been mentioned in Antonio Brown. The Cardinals have been mentioned in. The Cardinals have been mentioned in trading Rosen and to
Pittsburgh.
They have.
They've been
to the Redskins.
They've been talking about trading Rosen to the Redskins as well for that pick, and then you guys having Rosen and Antonio Brown, and the Cardinals getting Kyler Murray in y'all's pick.
Well, if they move Rosen, then there will be an obvious fact that they'll go for Murray. I will agree with that. If they move Rosen, but I have to see it before I can believe it.
No. He shouldn't even go first. Y'all, I have a problem because in the last 2 weeks, that's all I've heard. Kyler Murray. Every time you come on talking about combines, you're talking about the NFL draft, it's Kyler Murray. Every time. Mm-hmm. This past week, these last couple of days is the first time I've heard Haskins even named. You know, he has been the number one quarterback
Piper
for
and
all
McShay,
line.
yeah, that's both
what I'm saying. He's the
easily
number
say.
one quarterback.
You know, and it bothers me because he's like in the top 15, and I understood that. Then all of a sudden he's bumped up into the 10. Now he's bumped up. Is they going to be 1 and 2? And if you listen to some of them people, they talking about Kyler Murray going first. I mean, what has he done? I mean, he declined now to go and throw passes in the combine.
I think part of it, Terry, is that that quote that Cliff Kingsbury said when he was at Texas Tech. He was like, "If I was a GM and I had the first pick, I'd take him." And people are taking that and running with it.
Oh, I know.
Because now you have the number 1 pick.
Yeah, and now you're the head coach of the team with the number 1 pick.
It's just funny.
I'll let you, because I'm be honest, I'm about to rail. I'm about to rail into Kyler.
I mean, we have not
And this whole
heard,
notion.
and this is me, and when I'm listening to them talking about your combine and them talking about the NFL draft, I want to hear more people than Kyler Murray. And then here lately we bring in Bosa and we bring in Haskins just to put a few names out there.
Yeah.
What about everybody else that's coming out?
Their actual top 10 list that they've evaluated, there's no quarterbacks in it. The actual
the top 10 out of the top 50 players, no, in the
players.
top 10, yeah.
But that's not going to happen. They talking about these two guys one and two.
Teams
every year. Every year
quarterbacks.
people reach for a quarterback. Every single year.
Well, the only one that needs to be reached for is Haskins. And I'm telling you, if I was Redskins, I'd do anything to move up and get
him.
Haskins. I love Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins is a pocket quarterback. You know, I'll be honest, Patrick Mahomes was not the only quarterback last year to throw for 50 touchdowns. Haskins did it in college. He threw for almost 60.
There are a lot of plays that Kyler Murray can make in college that he's not going to make in the NFL.
Yeah, not if he wants to have a long career.
You know, I mean, just be plain and simple. How many have we took that were your Heismans, and all of a sudden they go to the NFL and they cannot make it? I mean, Kyler Murray, we are just giving him so much publicity and what he can do and what he cannot do. And it bothers me that he comes up now when the combine's getting ready to come out. Oh, I'm not going to do this. What? What do you mean you're not going to do it? You're the only guy that's even mentioned to do anything.
He's waiting for his pro day.
All right. I'm going to take I'm going to try and condense this as much as I can about the Kyler Murray situation. All right, Kyler Murray, right now to me, you seem like you're just an entitled kid. You think you're an entitled kid. You were a first-round pick in baseball. Okay, I get it. I understand. You are a dual athlete. There's not been a whole lot of dual athletes that get – actually, there have been a bunch of dual athletes that got drafted in baseball but played football instead, okay? So let's not act like you're the first, all right? And you're not the best to do it either. You're not – Bo Jackson's got something to say with that. You're not the best to do it either. And Dion even has something to say about that. And for the biggest question about Kyler Murray's biggest question has been his size. Has been his size. Well, guess what, Kyler? It's come out now that you're still 5'10". That's That's perfectly fine. There's not on record, through history, there's only been a few 5'10" quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl, and Russell Wilson really is the outlier because Drew Brees is 6 foot. He's 6 foot, almost 6'1". So okay, we got your height. You're not quite as short as we thought you were. You put on weight. Oh, that's okay. Might slow you down a little bit because they say you're a little fast. I agree with what Carson said. But what's your game weight going to be? You're probably going to be in the 190 area. And I'm going to be honest, them boys that are coming at you that are about 290, okay, they're about 100 pounds heavier than you.
If you can't touch me.
Now I'm going to get to that. Now I'm going to get to that. Running quarterbacks have a lifespan in the NFL for about 8 years.
You saw Emmitt Smith run.
This is the NFL.
Let me tell you. Running quarterbacks have a lifespan of about 8 years in the NFL.
Now, y'all listen to all this stuff Terry says about Kyler. Now, now ask him if Dak Prescott can win the Super Bowl this year.
I'm not even going to ask him about Dak Prescott.
Because
Dak Prescott is not in this conversation. I'm talking.
Kyler's a better runner than Dak. He's probably a better thrower than Dak.
Murray.
Should Dallas trade Dak for the number 1 pick?
No.
For Kyler Murray?
No. I will never take Kyler Murray over Dak Prescott.
He's not better than
any
Dak.
time. No.
And Kyler Murray. Okay.
Carson, what do you think?
So he's got a Heisman Trophy. That don't mean he's better.
Dak was drafted
I'm
4th round.
That.
Yeah.
Let me
finish.
Let me finish real quick. While this is still fresh on my brain.
Nope.
Let me finish this. While I'm still fresh on my brain.
$400,000 a year.
I mean, that's not bad.
Kyler Murray in high school, or not in high school. Kyler Murray in college inherited the offense that Baker Mayfield just ran, who just won a Heisman. I only saw a year of Kyler Murray at Oklahoma. I only saw a year. He transferred from Texas A&M, and I understand that there was a whole bunch of coaching debacle that was going down there. And Cliff Kingsbury brought him in. Well, Cliff Kingsbury also had Johnny Manziel he worked with, and how did that work out?
No, that was Kevin Sumlin at Texas A&M.
Kingsbury was a quarterback's coach at Texas A&M, and he recruited Kyler Murray.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, and he had Johnny Manziel there too.
Yeah.
That's why Kingsbury said he liked him.
Who's that? Yeah.
Exactly.
Hunting a job.
But that's what I'm gonna get at is we saw Baker Mayfield in the college football playoff. We also saw Kyler Murray in the college football playoff. They both got beat by an SEC team with physical defenses. Now they put up great numbers. They put up a bunch of running numbers because they're both mobile quarterbacks. But Baker Mayfield's more of a pocket quarterback than Kyler Murray is, and he's bigger. So I cannot take those stats Kyler Murray put up in college to any merit because there was a quarterback that just did the same thing with that offense there the year before. Sometimes it's just system. And Lincoln Riley plays in a Big 12 where there's no such thing as defense, and it's air raid every day. It's just send long balls down the field. Now, Cliff Kingsbury loves air raid. People say, oh, he built Patrick Mahomes. I'm pretty sure he just kind of helped mold him. Patrick Mahomes obviously is a good quarterback as it is, and Andy Reid is taking him to the next level. But what I have the biggest problem with that makes Kyler seem like he's pompous right now and kind of entitled is the fact that he says the biggest question about he's not even the number one quarterback, not even the number two quarterback to me, really. On some people he is, but I think the kid out of Duke's better than he is. He will not go to the combine. He's been invited, and he will not partake in any of the stuff. I know he's going to have a pro day in a few weeks. That's fine and dandy, okay? But there's no guarantee all 32 teams are going to show up, okay? There's no guarantee. You're right here. The world has their eyes on you. This is your chance because their pro day is not televised. What's he trying to hide? Why don't you show everybody out here that can you throw the ball? Are you as fast as you're advertised?
Hunter, if he's going number one and knows it already, he don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm going to say this right
here. He don't have to show up. He don't have to come to anything.
I'll say this right now. You can put me on record. If the Cardinals take Kyler Murray at the first, they're going to have another Josh Rosen situation where you don't know if you have him.
They're going to pick him because here's why. He wouldn't have changed baseball, I think, unless he knew he was guaranteed in the top 10.
Well, I know that because he said he's going to get the money faster.
So exactly. That's why he chooses football. You get
the
money
he's
quicker
get the money
faster
quicker
without having to play baseball every day. He's doing, and he's not working out and stuff. So why? So if you're trying to be number one, you're trying to get to number one, you're trying to impress people, you'd be doing all this. You're saying, why is he not? Why is he not? He's already guaranteed. Someone's already guaranteed.
Well, if that's the case, then just go ahead and declare. I don't want to hear I don't want to hear the GM
They're trying to
come
trade
out
Rosen.
anymore.
They got to get rid of Rosen.
I don't want to hear the GM say anymore that Josh Rosen right now is his quarterback. I don't want to hear.
He said right now.
I know he said right now. I don't want to hear it then. I want to hear him say.
Why are y'all so bothered about that? That's why I don't get
because
when
you get invited,
I get tired of hearing
you
his
know how
name.
many quarterbacks would kill to get invited to the combine, and
it's
gets
like
invited,
nobody else
just
is
to have
there.
A press conference and doesn't partake.
This is also a guy who says $330 million is nothing. Come on,
he
guy.
Came out and said that he's not impressed by the Bryce Harper deal. Okay, let's not act like you don't wish you was making that kind of money.
I take that money on the back
All right, we're going to talk about that and more. We got some more to talk about. We got to take a break because we ran late in the first one. JP, take us a break. We'll come back. We got more NFL combine talk and more football in general talk. We'll be right back. KTC broadcast.
It's a triple header of savings at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Save 3 big ways on 3 of your favorites. Right now, buy a brand new Kia for as low as $14,998. But hurry, only 15 are left on the lot at this low price. And right now, brand new Honda Accords start at $21,000 and save up to $10,660 on a brand new GMC truck. Yes, it's a triple header of savings at Renato Kia, Renato Honda, and Renato Buick GMC. All conveniently located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Start your engine!
Saturday, March 2nd.
The fans are on their feet.
We're in Vegas, baby.
Justin Allgaier takes the lead away from Cole Custer.
It's the Boyd Gaming 300.
Here's a battle for the lead. Hemrick looks inside of Christopher Bell.
Reed slides up in front of Allgaier. Allgaier comes down, and he catches a piece of the number 19 car, Brandon Jones.
The Boyd Gaming 300. Saturday, March 2nd at 3:30.
The Boyd Gaming 300 this Saturday afternoon at 3:30 on Carolina Country WCSL. 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, online at KDCBroadcasting.com.
It's game day. The energy pulsates through the arena. Adrenaline pumps. Tension heightens. Anticipation peaks. The crowd rises. It's finally time. The whistle blows and the ball goes up. Don't blink.
Pulls up for the tie. Yes, sir. 4.1 to go.
Game day lives here on the Tar Heels Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Check out the great rates at Pine Mountain Golf Course. Play and ride weekdays for only $21. Seniors play and ride weekends for just $18. Or you can play and ride all day weekdays for only $28. Seniors can play and ride all day on weekends for $25. Make your tee time today by calling 828-433-4950. You'll love this challenging 18-hole par 68 course. The Pine Mountain Golf Course, adjacent to South Mountain State Park. Again, call 828-433-4950 for your tee time. It's time to get ready for spring. That means it's time to head to Ferguson Ace Hardware in Cherryville. And remember, Ferguson Ace Hardware is now your steel dealer. Steel chainsaws, blowers, trimmers, and more. And they also are your steel service center, too. And right now, get the steel FS91R trimmer for $299.95. And see the new Ego battery-powered lawn and garden equipment, including mowers, trimmers, and blowers, at Ferguson Ace Hardware, Highway 150 East in Cherryville.
At Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation in Cherryville, it's their passion that makes them different. Their goal is to return their rehabilitation residents home as soon as possible. Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation offers 24-hour nursing care, foods prepared on site, private and semi-private accommodations, television and telephone, and even wireless internet. From short-term to long-term care, your care and safety is their top priority. For more information, call and speak with a representative at 704-435-4161 or visit the website at sandstonehealth.com. Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation, where their passion makes them different.
Country Gold with Terry Clark. I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me this week for Country Gold, where we play all your favorites from the 80s and 90s.
Country Gold with Terry Clark, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
It's Vegas.
It's 3 wide for the race lead off turn 2.
It's the Pennzoil 400.
Brad Keselowski makes a great move, and so does Chase Elliott. It's a 3-way battle for the lead. Kevin Harvick trying to pick up right where he left off last week in Atlanta as he's battling for the lead. Blaney's got it on the bottom.
Kurt Busch up against the wall, and he gets collected by Chase Elliott.
The Pennzoil 400, Sunday, March 3rd at 2:30.
The Pennzoil 400 from Las Vegas this Sunday afternoon at 2:30 on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, online at kdcbroadcasting.com. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville. Online at kdcbroadcasting.com. Now's the time to buy your new Kubota from Parker Farm Service in Kings Mountain. Right now, pay zero money down. Get 0% APR financing for 60 months. Come on in now for all the details. All for good on the Kubota BX Series, the Kubota B Series, the Kubota L Series, and the Kubota MX Series tractors. Again, zero money down and 0% APR financing for 60 months. Get your new Kubota today at Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain. Buy more, save more at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. Come in now and save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliance packages, refrigerators, dishwashers, ranges, and microwave ovens. Let Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center put a package together for you. Again, save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliance packages. Buy more, save more at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 3 on Saturday. It's a triple header of savings at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Save 3 big ways on 3 of your favorites. Right now, buy a brand new Kia for as low as $14,998. But hurry, only 15 are left on the lot at this low price. And right now, brand new Honda Accords start at $21,000 and save up to $10,660 on a brand new GMC truck. Yes, it's a triple header of savings at Renato Kia, Renato Honda, and Renato Buick GMC. All conveniently located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Good morning, Saturday Sports Talk. We're doing some NFL Draft Combine
Sounds like
breakdown.
my kind of league, baby.
We've had Hunter and Terry's Kyler Murray whining for a little bit. I'll get to that later. Kyle, so they've got on the mock drafts, pulled those up. Well, they've got him at 3-3-1, Terry. So they've got him all over the board there. In the top 3.
That's NFL.
Just
so
NFL.
That's NFL.com. That's not
CBSSports.com.
Okay, CBS. That's not. It's not Kuiper. It's not McShay.
Did you see that this is the first year
Mel Kuypers went to the
has
draft?
ever been allowed into the actual draft combine?
Why do they not? Why would they
They
not
don't
let him
let
in years before?
It's just front office people.
I'll tell you why. Because in 2000 something or another, Mel Kiper Jr. said,
"Oh, the Jimmy Clausen quote?
If Jimmy Clausen is not a successful starting quarterback in the NFL, I'm done. That's it. I'm out."
And he still
and
has
this
a job.
fool just now got him a pass to the thing.
Yeah, he still has himself a job, but guess what? That was the hot take, buddy. Didn't work out for you. That tweet didn't age well.
Well, it wasn't a tweet.
It was
he
a
said
quote
that on TV.
on live television.
On TV? Oh,
Back in the old days when I did think that was on TV.
Okay, yeah.
It was a tweet.
It doesn't
Gosh,
matter.
how old does that make you feel, Terry?
Well, look.
Everything's not a tweet, Hunter.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it was such a short quote, I thought it was a tweet.
I get you. I got you.
They only had 140 characters at one time.
Does Mel Kiper have Twitter?
I don't think he does.
I don't know.
Or no, he might.
I was about to say, most people I know when I was even at broadcasting school, they said, you got to be on social media.
I did know he could hold his pee for like 12 hours or whatever it was.
He might. I don't know. I don't know if he knows how to work a phone.
No, how long can he hold his pee? That was
what?
He gets on the TV and doesn't go to the bathroom for
Oh,
like 10
yeah,
hours.
at the draft. Well,
I was like, is this a fact?
Yes.
You're talking about the draft.
He has a Twitter.
He said,
that's what I was looking at.
Okay, so.
Yeah, those guys, they have to take commercial breaks.
Terry, who the Cowboys picking in the first round?
I don't know what we're going to do here. Really
got
do
your
not.
stud coming back at tight end.
I mean,
you don't have a pick, Terry.
Well, Jason Witten.
Draft the tight end, Terry. Draft the tight end.
That's exactly what they did, I guess. They drafted Jason Witten, didn't they, Terry?
Yeah, right out of the
Terry came in today saying Super Bowl.
78-year-old rookie.
He said they brought in this tight end that he can catch, and they're going to go to the Super Bowl
the
now.
point is he's a leader in the locker room. Okay. He's eventually going to be a coach for Dallas.
Thank God he's out of Monday Night Football.
Now, I'm also like these other guys have said. I don't think he should be the head coach.
He's not good. What do you mean?
I would go get Tony Romo to be the head coach.
Yeah, why you put him on television
Because his daddy beat it.
I can't believe anything that this Ryan Wilson guy puts up there. He's got the Broncos moving up. Yeah, not after they just gave all this money to Joe Flacco, moving up to get Dwayne Haskins.
John Elway doesn't know what he wants.
Exactly. You went out there and you got your veteran quarterback.
And
you got. There's no way someone's gonna hear whispers that the Broncos going to get Dwayne Haskins for him to sit and let that happen. They'll move up even ahead of you, and that'll be a wasted trade.
Kyler Murray to the Jaguars would be wild.
Yeah, they're done with Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles he'll be cut probably in the next month.
And
then he'll probably go and be a backup somewhere, a pretty decent backup somewhere for the rest of his career.
Would he not fit in Carolina?
Play style wise, yeah.
Bortles?
He is Cam. He's just, I'm not pulling the card, but he's just a white
I don't
Cam.
think the Panthers will ever put anyone as backing up Cam
that matches his play style.
That could take his position or do better.
I've
because
said that all along.
They keep putting people back here.
Let's say this year. Quarterback.
Well, he's going to be better. Well, I mean, it's not like his throwing has ever gotten better. So he's coming off surgery, and we're not going to do anything to fix it, Terry. We're not going to do anything to back up. We got these pocket quarterbacks back here. They can't do anything.
Well, I think you gotta have that.
Even when they drafted Armani and moved him to punt returner, I thought for sure my God, he'll at least be the third quarterback. At least be running some plays with him. He can throw them.
Run wildcat.
He threw for like 3,700. If I went and read his college stats, y'all would be like, that's just silly.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. I don't know because this is Tepper now. This ain't Jerry Richardson that drafted.
That's a very good point.
Cam Newton. I tell a bunch of my Panthers fans that are my friends, I say, let me tell you something. Don't forget that your new GM has no ties with anybody really except DJ Moore because that's who we drafted. Was DJ Moore. Or your owner. Yeah, not the GM. Your owner. Your new owner has no ties with anybody. Okay? And really, coaching staff-wise, he's not really tied with anybody either. So,
I mean, I think one thing, think about at the end of the season, they were having to pull Cam off the field to have Heineke in for the Hail Mary pass, and they don't have any good route. They don't have good all they have is deep threats. They only have Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore. They just have burners. They don't have guys who can run routes and you can throw to a spot and you know they'll get open. And that's what Cam needs. If he can't throw it deep anymore, you need guys that can run routes, run the underneath routes, and stuff like that.
Well, if he can't throw it deep anymore,
he's not
a starter for me. He can't throw. He can't throw the routes. He's not a Drew Brees.
He overshoots those guys.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. You don't have. They've always just tried to get a big body for Cam.
And here's the thing:
They had Kelvin Benjamin, who was bad.
He's in his 8th season, and his mechanics are still bad. At some point, your mechanics don't get better when you get to your 9th and 10th season.
Most all, Terry will agree with me, most all quarterbacks, running quarterbacks, at some point you run out of the running, first of all. Then when you do, almost none of them
can translate to pocket passers.
Have translated. There's only been one that I know of that completely changed his game, and that was Randall Cunningham. Cunningham at
Steve
first.
Young, kind of.
Yeah, you're right about that. Steve Young, there in his late career, him going to 49ers, it was like you got this guy, and then a completely different guy showed up. It's like, who is this dude?
Yeah.
It was, and everybody was so used to Montana. Yeah. It's still hard to digest what Steve Young was because he didn't actually play that much.
How good he was.
Right.
Yeah.
But Randall went from, he was the most athletic person on the field when he was on. And if you go, he still got better stats than about every other quarterback. Longest punt ever from a quarterback. But Randall, when he went to Minnesota, he lost. He wasn't faster than the defense. Vic was still pretty much the whole time. He was still almost faster than everybody out there.
He
actually never had to change. He should have figured it out more, but he had such a rocket flip. He had no touch on it like Cam does with the no touch on it.
Threw it 100 miles an hour.
Exactly.
And that was it. Breaking receivers' hands in practice and everything.
But Randall transitioned to that, and Randy Moss helped. I know people's gonna say, "Well, Randy was." I know that helped a lot, but it also helped that Randall could throw it 80 yards
exactly.
too. It's not like Randall couldn't
let Randy separate.
Yes.
But Randall also, who else was there? Terry, Jake Reed was there. Chris Carter was there. He was throwing it all over the park. It wasn't just drop back and throw it deep to him. So Cam's got to adjust to that, and you got to worry about these surgeries. Because when you do transfer to that where you can't run no more, you have to throw that deep ball, and that has been he's better at that than he is throwing the short ball. But is that going to affect that? We've seen Andrew Luck shot putting it for a year and a half. Is this going to affect
And I think what it is, I think with Andrew Luck, really, I think it's just getting the rust off of it, and it didn't help that that they did well. It's good for the franchise. They made the playoffs and made it to the first round, obviously to play the Chiefs. Or no, they made the second round because they beat the Texans. But I think it was just because this was his first year back, his arm obviously was going to get tired. I was expecting it to get tired. I didn't expect him to get that far. I think next year, though, that's the difference.
There's a difference between tired and being able to throw deep.
Yeah, and he was still able to throw deep this year, though. I mean, he was second or third in the league in touchdowns. I mean, obviously it's hard to catch a Patrick Mahomes who's got toys all over the field and throwing 50-plus touchdowns this season. But the difference between, because this is the Andrew Luck shoulder injury that Cam has. Andrew Luck he already knew how to throw the ball correctly. He was already one of the most accurate passers in the NFL. So all it was for him was getting muscle memory back and just reps back. Cam, he's not accurate. He is good at throwing the deep ball, but now it's like he couldn't throw the deep ball. Yeah, he's never been accurate. In college, what he dominated, people forget, in college he dominated because he was bigger than everybody else and just ran everywhere. He didn't throw for a bunch of touchdowns. He ran for a bunch of touchdowns.
Yeah.
So
People probably think we're so anti-Cam, but it's not that we're anti-Cam. He's probably a great guy. It's just
we've seen somebody that has not changed from the time he come in.
And he's taking up so much of the Panthers' money. It's not fair to them to keep having 7 and 9, 8 and 8 seasons.
It takes up so much of the team concept. Like that team is
just built around.
That's what I'm saying.
Cam.
They try to build it around Cam,
and it just doesn't work.
And like we were talking about earlier with receivers and stuff. Who have they drafted since Cam's been there? Just two guys off the top of my head: Kevin Funchess and Kelvin Benjamin. Two guys that are tall, and that's all.
And one of them, one of them, to quote Booger McFarland, is what was a Popeyes biscuit away from being a tight end.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, you get these big guys because you think they're going to have big catch radiuses because Cam isn't that accurate, so maybe at least they can go get those wild passes.
I mean, Steve Smith's quote was
had the highest drop rate this season.
Steve Smith's quote was they cut me because Cam couldn't throw the short passes.
Yeah,
he said that. He said I got cut in Carolina because Cam can't throw the short passes.
Yeah,
and if people don't believe me, you can just type it in. Steve Smith said that. So
yeah,
all right,
he's on record as saying it.
Now he can hit Christian McCaffrey about 2 yards away.
Oh, he's got the swing pass down.
Yeah, he's got that down.
That's the only touch pass he has down where he turns to his left and flicks it.
Flicks with his wrist.
So, looking at Dallas doesn't have a first-round pick. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones said, Terry, when it comes to the 16th pick, get this. This is how cool the Cowboys are, Carson.
I saw it.
They're going to watch video highlights of Amari.
Yeah.
What dorks. I mean, they're just Panthers picked. So we're going to have some interesting. We need to have a little draft party here for the 15th, 16th, and 17th draft picks all in a row. Redskins, Panthers, and Browns are supposed to be 15th to 17th. This is the first year I've been watching some of this stuff, and everybody's like, what are we supposed to talk about with the Browns? Like,
they're not the number one pick.
Like usually they've got it narrowed down to like 4 guys we're going after. They don't have they have no idea. Well, what are we going to do?
There's not a quarterback controversy at this point. It's just, are they going to try?
Time
and
they get to their pick, everybody's went to bed.
The biggest question about the Browns is, are they going to try and trade for Odell?
Just do this. I mean, just whatever you do, just pick the best athlete,
the best
player out there.
The best.
Don't care
best
what
available
position,
player.
whatever. You just you're in a luxury spot right now. Just sit there in the middle. Don't trade up and waste your draft. Take the draft.
Two of these guys have got the Browns taking wide receiver. Not if Odell's on the market. Not if they shoot for Odell.
Odell and Brown may be moving.
The Steelers said they are not dealing Antonio Brown to any AFC team, so it's only NFCs.
They said the 3 teams, and 2 of them were AFCs. So the only team was the Redskins.
So he's coming to
Was
Washington.
The Raiders?
You heard it here first. He's coming to Washington.
I've seen a proposal.
Redskins, Raiders, and one more.
Yeah,
John Cameron. I've seen a proposal of Deshaun Jackson, Bucks and Bucks for Brown.
Well, Deshaun Jackson's a free agent.
Yeah.
He is a free. I thought he was actually.
He said he wants out of Tampa.
Never
Bay.
mind. I know he wanted out. I thought he had 1 more year on his contract.
You know the worst thing about that, Hunter, if he do get him, Washington, what are they going to have to give up to get him?
See,
that's what we said. What do they have to go get him?
We don't.
Are you going to give up number ones? I mean, you got to give up a lot of stuff.
The Steelers said that they want a first rounder for him. They want a first rounder, and I wouldn't be surprised if we threw one of our big names out there like Gordon.
So the Dolphins have already said they're looking at next year's
Norman. Josh Norman.
Dolphins already said they're looking at next year's quarterbacks and not this year's. So why wouldn't the Redskins kind of do the same thing? There's a bunch of veterans available. Pick a veteran, fill your holes with your defense and your linemen, and then next year, like they said, if you need it then. I mean, Bridgewater's available. Nick Foles is available. You got guys. The NFC East is winnable. Nick Foles is available.
They say he's going to go to Nick Foles. I said, I don't mind. He knows the Eagles. He knows the Giants. He's played them for years. He knows the Cowboys. Why would you not? And not only that, I like Teddy Bridgewater. I think it's hurting him, really, that Drew Brees still has yet to retire, because I think he could run that offense just as good. I mean, not like Drew Brees, but he'd be good at running that offense.
You'd have a really good coach, obviously, to go along with it.
And Sean Payton, I'm telling you, the day Drew Brees retires, Sean Payton more than likely is going to go to Dallas.
I hope this works, Terry. I got sound. I could go in there and plug it up, but I'm going to be lazy and try to do this, play on something. With Witten coming out of retirement, Terry, one of your other boys has mentioned coming out. Have you heard the DeMarcus Ware?
Yes, I have.
I started thinking to myself, maybe I need to call Romo and get him out of the booth and all 3 of us come back. But then also DeMarcus Lawrence saying that they wanted another guy on the edge. Will I come back? I have been working out. I do feel good. Do y'all think I should come back? Y'all let me know. Don't play with me. Y'all let me know.
So that was DeMarcus Ware.
Now, let me tell you something. DeMarcus Ware in his final years, when he was in Denver, he still had some juice in the tank. He was a threat with Von Miller on one side, but that really helped him though. That Von Miller was in fact on one side. Yeah.
So that was yesterday. This morning, Terry, he tweeted, "Good morning. Anyone here from Romo yet? I'm just sitting back seeing if we're going to get the band back together or what." Now, Terry, with that said, I told you I was going to go to Carson for the last question. Remember how we talked about trading Dak? Wouldn't this be the best time to trade Dak? He doesn't have a $20 million contract yet. That would be for the team to trade to negotiate.
Is at his highest.
High ceiling. How many draft picks could you get to fill in all those spots that they need on line and other spots, wide receivers, tight ends, and other spots? Get extra picks for Dak. What is JP doing? Anyway. And then Kurt Warner, remember in the playoffs, said he could come back for a 3-game playoff stretch. Joe Flacco was sitting there on the bench while Lamar Jackson's out there getting stomped into the ground. These pocket quarterbacks win in the playoffs, and the run-ins don't. Should the Cowboys bring the band back together for a year or two, get rid of Dak, move on, and then draft someone 2 years from now? I know Carson's going to say nope, so that's it. Terry, if you want to win the Super Bowl, that's how it's going to happen, buddy. I told you this 3 years ago, and y'all keep running this.
Tony Romo got his taste of the Super Bowl, and he didn't have to get hit to do it.
He's going to want it more now.
He didn't have to get. I will say this. He didn't have to break his collarbone.
Redskins can call Romo.
No. In 2 years, if they did want to do this, you guys will probably have a really good draft pick because I don't think you're going to win many games. And guess who's going to be available? Trevor Lawrence.
Well, what happened? But listen, in 2 years, in 2 or 3 years, when Dallas still hasn't won a Super Bowl, and we've had 6 or 7 years of Dak doing nothing, what would it have mattered this whole time to have Romo?
Well, you just want to continue the fact that you think Jerry Jones just wants to sell hot dogs, and he would be doing it again, getting the band back together. That would be like AC/DC going on tour right now. They're broke. They want money. They need to go on tour. that would be the same equivalent. Get the band back together. Jason Witten's broke. DeMarcus Ware is broke. Tony Romo ain't broke, but he just wants to do something because he's bored.
Jason Witten's not broke. He's just tired of people telling him that he's bad at what he does.
I said that's why he got out. You
can't
take the heat, get out the kitchen. That's what Jason Witten
saved ESPN millions of dollars.
Be easy on Jason. He's got a bad background story on his speaking abilities. It's
and I'm just listen. All I'm saying is,
Terry, you know the background on him?
No, I do not.
Did you know the reason he talks the way he does? His daddy beat him like crazy when he was little. In fact, his daddy left him and his mother and his family on the side of the interstate one time. Just left them there. Pulled over to the side of the road.
I have nothing against that.
Left them there.
I have nothing against how he speaks. I think the Monday night was too big for him.
That's
for
his what
first
I'm saying.
Job
that's not
out.
his fault, but that's the Monday night people's fault, and it's not his fault. And the fact, if you're, and you guys, I guess, I don't pay one bit of attention really to the announcers.
I do
when I watch the game.
I
almost listen to nothing because I'm watching them. I guess I'm watching it with my eyes more than I am. I'm not listening. The one announcer that bothers me, I can't stand Vitale.
I love Dickie V.
But for the most part, I don't like Doris Burke's voice.
I don't like Doris Burke.
She's smart, but I don't like her voice. She's just she's like a robot.
I think Doris Burke is better as a reporter than the main broadcaster.
But
I get a glimpse of her, and then she's
some
gone.
people can't take it. Like the Twitter sphere on these announcers on any game is.
Oh yeah,
I feel bad about doing games in high school. Like, what are people saying about me?
This is how I feel about it. I hate when there's a player who's pondering retirement, and as soon as he even speaks the R word, a big company is like, "We're going to give you almost as much money as you're making right now."
That's the problem.
To come and speak.
That's the problem.
That's what I have a problem with.
There's so much money in the TV. And that they can give the announcers the
think
same
about
amount
it.
they
Tony
can get
Romo wasn't even off the team yet. and they were basically
That's
like,
what they're doing-
come on, we're
that's
going
what
to
they're
throw you
doing with
millions
Greg
of
Olson.
dollars.
How much are they paying?
Yeah,
how much are they paying Romo? Do y'all remember? Or no?
I don't know.
Did they ever make that public?
Jason Witten was his deal was a lot.
Because think about it, there's almost no use anymore for us color commentators because all they want to do is get. Because I want you to think about it. I would take, no lie, maybe a fourth of what they're paying him. And I'm not going to say I could do just as good of a job as Tony Romo because obviously he's coming at it from the quarterback's aspect. But they're not spending as much money, and I'm not going to do much worse. I've got the training for it. But just because just say they did he did the same. They're doing the same thing with Greg Olson, trying to coax him in. He's not even off the Panthers yet. He's thought about it, but he's not said he's thinking he's retiring just yet. They're trying to coax him in. They just want to keep throwing all this money because people want to tune in and say, "Oh, he played. He must know what he must know what he's talking about." But there's a difference between knowing what you're talking about and
Jerry
knowing how
Rice
to tell the people.
may be the best football player ever, and he couldn't do the announcing. And he come off and said that the play-by-play is different than the analyst, and Rice doesn't like it because you've got to. It's so
you really
quick
got to
and everything.
analyze the whole field than just the
Right.
position you played.
And I think Jason, like I said, with his speeching problem and you got to remember, I'm not gonna say his football thing. He's been hitting the head way more than Tony Romo ever has.
Oh, I know.
Tony Romo's making $4 million a year.
Okay,
at
so-
CBS, and they're going to give him a substantial raise, is what they said.
So that's
because they're afraid Dallas is going to call him for the head coaching job.
As far as his talent broadcasting wise, that's the ESPN's fault or ABC's, whoever put him on there. I'm sure he knows football as much as everybody else.
Oh, I'm
does.
telling you, I think
All right.
he would have been great
got-
on
yep.
the 425 game, but not Monday Night Football.
Yeah, and not his first job.
Yeah, JP, we got to take a break. A couple other things. Terry, you lost y'all defense this week. Signed old man. You come in talking about the Super
How did we
Bowl.
lose all the defense? We lost 2 guys who didn't play hardly any.
Sean Lee might not be coming back.
I mean, okay, he never played neither.
Now the Panthers getting rid of their safeties. Mike Brown's out.
Mike Adams.
Mike Adams.
They
Captain
re-signed
Merlin's
Eric Reed.
Captain Merlin's gone. They re-signed Eric Reed,
Who was really the liability of that
We had
secondary.
great bench warmers sitting over
He
there.
was.
If they could play.
Who did? Y'all did.
Dallas did.
Well. Let's see. Anything else? Any news and notes y'all want to talk NFL before we take this break?
Well, I mean, it's not much news, but did you see what Kaepernick wants to play in the XFL?
No.
$20 million.
We wanted that to play in the.
That's listen.
You're never
listen.
getting that.
That's as much money as Dak Prescott's probably going to get on his next deal. And I would say Kaepernick's better than Dak Prescott.
I will say.
No, right now?
Not right now.
Numbers-wise?
He's been out
Go
there.
look at his numbers.
I'm not.
Oh
I will
my
never give
God.
Colin Kaepernick, and it's not for what he did. It's just
Wrong
he
answer,
only
Carson.
won when John Harbaugh was there as a quarterbacks coach. When John Harbaugh left, he had awful numbers. The last time we saw him on the field, he threw more picks than touchdowns. Not only that, his completion percentage was below 50%, and he's been out of the league for going on 2-3 years, and he wants a contract
I will
like
say
that.
this.
I don't think so. And Carolina Panthers are talking about signing him. He plays like Cam, but he wants a big amount of money as well. If Colin Kaepernick was even in consideration for me on my team, I'd say you have to earn this spot, this kind of money. You haven't played in years. I would say maybe
Give him a
1 year
deal.
contract,
Yeah, 1 year deal.
1 year deal for maybe $2 million at max, because you just got a huge sum of money from the NFL right now.
Well,
so I know
we'll
you're
never
not-
know how much it is.
I will never know. I know you're not hurting for money. Prove to me that you really want to come back and play and not just make a big wad of cash and I wasted my money.
Kaepernick one winning season.
Under?
12-4. That year, 58% completion, 3,100 yards. That's him and Dak are pretty much in the same boat on all that.
Who was his Who was his head coach the year they went to the Super Bowl and had that win?
Now what they did? Now what the difference is, I can't name a single running back that played with Kaepernick. The Cowboys have had
Frank Gore.
Yeah, that's
Frank
right.
Gore.
All right, so now looking back, you talking about the defense.
I
in
remember the
championships.
49ers beating the Rams a lot. So
When the Panthers made the Super Bowl, they had a good defense with a running quarterback. When the Kaepernick made the Super Bowl, they had a good defense.
They had a really good defense.
So, a lot of these.
They lost to a better defense than the Ravens.
All I got to do is say
we'll be back
Dak
in a
is the
few-
second winningest quarterback in his span of 3 years.
Oh my goodness.
That's all I got to say.
Who's first? Tebow.
Nope. Tom Brady number 1 and
Tebow.
Dak is second.
Tebow's first. Tebow's first. Terry's such a Cam Newton fan, he don't even know it, right, Carson? I think that. We'll be back in a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Dr. John L. Cloninger III of Lincolnton will brighten your smiles with professional cosmetic dentistry and smile enhancement procedures for everyone. Even Duke fans will smile at the work of this Tar Heel. The office of Dr. John L. Cloninger III is located at 904 Doncha Drive. For an appointment, call 704-735-0765. That's 704-735-0765. And John III says best wishes to all high school athletes.
Maybe a punctuation mark on a career night.
It's a triple header of savings at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Save 3 big ways on 3 of your favorites. Right now, buy a brand new Kia for as low as $14,998. But hurry, only 15 are left on the lot at this low price. And right now, brand new Honda Accords start at $21,000 and save up to $10,660 on a brand new GMC truck. Yes, it's a triple header of savings at Renato Kia, Renato Honda, and Renato Buick GMC. All conveniently located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Isolated and alone?
That's how millions of Americans feel while experiencing a mental health crisis.
Need to talk? Our providers love to listen.
Call us now at 1-888-235-HOPE.
That's 1-888-235-4673.
Partners, improving lives and strengthening communities in North Carolina. 1-888-235-HOPE. 235-4673.
This is Evangelist Kim Earwood with Jesus Until the Whole World Hears Radio Ministry. Join us each Sunday morning from 8 to 8:30 a.m. for worship and the Word of God on 1390 and 1590 a.m., 101.5 FM, and ktcbroadcasting.com, and live on Facebook. Also, be sure and stay tuned from 8:30 to 9 o'clock on 1390 a.m., 101.5 FM, ktcbroadcasting.com, and live on Facebook for half hour of praise and worship with Jesus Until the Whole World Hears.
There you go, Ann. Your new account is now open. Just one more little thing.
Here's your card.
What was that?
It's my new bank. Every time I turn around, I get hit with another fee.
You need to get an account at Carolina Federal Credit Union.
She's right.
Tired of getting hit by bank fees? Switch to Carolina Federal Credit Union today. Make those pains go away.
Here's your receipt.
If bowling's your game, head to George Pappas Liberty Lanes in Gastonia. At Liberty Lanes in Gastonia, you'll find 32 lanes, 16 with bumpers for small children. Liberty Lanes is a smoke-free facility with a full snack bar and game room with pool tables, plus a pro shop too, providing bowlers of all skill levels with a fun-filled environment for both league and open bowling. That's George Pappas Liberty Lanes, Highway 321 South, Gastonia.
So you don't think Coach K next year is going to be coaching Kyrie and LeBron in LA?
Listen, if Kobe couldn't get
Coach K coaching Kyrie and LeBron
Oh, my
next year
goodness.
in LA, never got a chance to coach Kyrie.
Did you see
They
the
got all
little?
the 6
Oh
games,
Lord!
yeah.
Did you see the little whiny box run off to court last night after they got
which
beat?
whiny box?
LeBron.
Oh no, I didn't see.
No,
it. What is
Boston won, so he didn't run off.
He's
court
shooting
last night.
67% from the free throw line. I just want to mention that. Like Shaq was like 61 or something like that.
DeAndre Jordan shoots better free throws than he does now.
So, do you want to do NBA or MLB free agency? Which one, Terry?
Terry,
I know we should discuss it during the break. I'll let you choose right now. Put it on the break.
Go ahead, Carson.
Yes.
Do baseball.
Baseball.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So this
Go
week,
ahead.
Major League
Go ahead and
Baseball.
give me a hot take on Bryce.
Hold
I
on.
agree with
It's
you.
not a
though.
hot take. He's bad.
I agree with you though.
Oh, I agree. Y'all are going to actually agree with me on
No,
a baseball
I
something?
agree.
He's not worth it.
He's
So,
just a bat,
This week,
and it's gone down.
And it's one thing.
3 players
Home runs,
combined to get signed for $900 million. Baseball players.
I want
3
you-
baseball players.
I want you to think about that.
$900 million. That's an outfield.
Yeah, think of that.
Well,
I
two
want
of them
you
are
to
third
like,
baseman.
there's no
First
and,
baseman.
and to an
3,
extent,
4, and 5 hit
to an
cost
extent, the
$1 billion.
fans are the problem because they're the ones that go to the games and they give them all the money that they need to pay these kind of contracts. There's no player out there that's worth that kind of money.
Mike Trout.
There's a
No.
no.
stop
no. Now look. I'll give
Wrong
you
answer.
I'm just talking about like money wise. Skill-wise, yes, but there's no person needs a $330 million
Baseball money, baby.
contract.
That's baseball money.
It's ridiculous.
I need it.
For what? JP.
I have bills to pay.
JP.
Yeah, right.
Okay, now let me tell you something. Can
You
you
gotta
afford
get the
those
rest of
bills?
Star
Could you
Trek.
afford those bills on only $1 million a
Star
year?
Wars.
Yeah, way too. Yeah, I could,
Okay, well,
and
then
have
you
money
don't-
to
then
spend
you don't
on it.
need $330 million over 13 years.
You don't sound very capitalist.
Well, you need
right
at least
now,
make Hunter. You need to make at least $2 million to pay your trainer to get your HGH according to LeBron.
Yeah.
So you got to have that. So that's why these other players.
That's what I'm saying is like Bryce Harper for his numbers right now. You can't tell me there's a kid who just didn't get his opportunity that couldn't play just as good for maybe half, if not a quarter, of what he's making. That's all I'm saying. That's why when people fight over, oh, I need more money. No, you don't.
How long is it going to be
No, you
before
don't. You're part of the
Philadelphia regrets this?
That's what I'm saying. You're part of because
13 years.
13 years in Philadelphia,
No opt-out,
opt-out, and
no
no
trade
clause. But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, come on. You're part of the 1% that makes a couple $1 million a year, okay? Let's not act like you need more money. A lot of us could need more money, okay? Like, I don't want to hear you fight over money.
The thing about Bryce Harper, this is all he can do is baseball. He dropped out of high school, got his GED, doesn't even have a high school degree, goes to a junior college, gets drafted so he can get drafted when he's 17. And that's all he's ever been bred to do is play baseball.
Yeah,
that's
but think about it. How much money has he made so far in his career? Not only
This
off
is
of
his
this,
first
but think about it. He's
contract,
got.
really.
Well, what about his endorsement money?
Well, but
Does
that's
Under
what
Armour
I'm
not
saying.
give
though.
him a bunch of money?
No, yeah, that's what.
He's their poster
But that's
child,
what I'm saying
really.
is like this is his first contract money. I mean, yeah, obviously he's making a lot
That's
of
what I'm
endorsement
saying.
money.
Like
but
anybody that's made every bit over $6-7 million over, not only. It's not like he's been working all his life to get that. He made over $6-7 million a day he was drafted. So when they have huge $100 million contracts, and I'm not like it's one thing if it's like $100 million. This is
How much
this
was
is
Jordan
pushing
staking the Hornets?
$350 million.
How much was Jordan staking the Hornets? What, like 200-something million or something like that?
I don't know right off the top of my head.
I thought one of these stakes, or the Hornets at some time went for $200 million. Like they just gave an outfielder the amount of money to buy, in 13 years of standing in the outfield, no buy a professional basketball franchise.
That's what I'm saying. Like, like these contracts are ridiculous, and I know they're just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And that's, I'm gonna be honest, that's a problem.
At some point, there's a breaking point. There's a bubble in everything. You can look in the stands and see there's not that many people in the stands.
Not
NBA, Adam Silver mentioned the other day that their demographics, their main demographic, 18 to 34, is dropping like crazy on pay to watch things. Like people are watching a lot free on Reddit and things like that.
Yeah.
So they're losing money on their demographic.
Well, this is why most places are losing money too. No one wants to go in there and spend the $100 or $200 on seats and another $30 to $40 just for a sandwich and a drink for you, and if you have a date or
a
your
Bojangles
friends.
Supreme combo at the Hornets game with water is $19.50.
Well, and see that's a problem. When you go to, did I tell you guys when I went to Mercedes-Benz Stadium?
You don't even get a biscuit
summer?
with it either.
Did I tell you when I went to Mercedes-Benz this past summer?
Nope. Go ahead.
Oh,
So
it's super. It's super
cheap.
Yeah,
It's super cheap. It's a
they've got the
$1 billion
cheapest.
facility.
They've got the cheapest.
It's
in
the
NFL.
cheapest food, and I asked a woman, and well, we didn't go. Obviously, it was on Sunday. Chick-fil-A was closed. We just went to one of their regular little. It's just like it's like the Atlanta Falcons little place. You can just eat the food
Why
there.
didn't they just buy a giant Chick-fil-A sign?
I know.
It's done the exact same thing.
And I asked her. I said, "Why is the food so cheap? I'd be spending $20 myself at Bank of America back home." She said, "Because we want you to come in and enjoy the game. We want you to be able to afford the ticket, to just come in and not break your back to feed the people while you're here. We want you to come and to show up, to fill the seats." He said no one wants to come because most of the games are played at lunchtime. They don't want to come and spend $40 for two people
meal,
for a sandwich. There's sandwiches.
So Terry, 300 and what was Bryce's? Was it
330? 13
$330 million. I'm gonna give you his stats, Terry. See if it's worth it. In 7 years in the big league, he has hit 40 home runs once, scored 100 runs once, never had 200 hits, never had 40 doubles, never had 10 triples, only had 100 RBIs once. This year, he hit 100. What in the world kind of noise is that? Walks. And this is today's age. This is where we're good. He's got 100. He led the league last year in walks, so that's how he got it. He got $300 million off because he led the league last year in walks. Everything else, batting average 250. You know what Tebow hit last year?
Tebow's about to be a pro.
Tebow hit 273 last year.
I'm not that worried about batting average. Tell me on base percentage.
Now, Tebow also. Now, Bryce Harper's career average.
They got to draw somehow.
Last year was his worst year hitting and got $300 million.
Yeah.
Career average, Bryce Harper's 279. Tebow hit 273 last year. On base percentage, Tebow 335. Bryce Harper 390. So it's in one breath, someone will tell me Tebow's terrible, can't play in the big leagues, and in the next breath, Bryce Harper's worth $330 million. I just want to know where the fine line is.
I want to know. Well, I'll tell you exactly how Bryce Harper got all this money. He's the face of baseball. At the end of the day, as good as Mike Trout is, Mike Trout does not have the personality that Bryce Harper has, and
thank God.
And Mike Trout did not come out and say, like Bryce Harper did when he first came in the league, he wants to make baseball cool again. He did. He said he wants to make baseball cool again. Well,
he throws his helmet off on purpose when he runs the bases.
He's a pretty boy. He's got the hair. He's got the full beard. The guy's in shape. I'm just saying, you paid $330 million for a slugger.
You outbid yourself. That's all you did.
Yeah, no one else was putting. Well, the only other person that was probably going to make that kind of run, they said it was the White Sox. But
no, the Dodgers. Listen, the Dodgers offered him.
It was a short contract. Though.
4 years, $180 million.
Yeah,
$45 million.
And he's got a better chance of Phillies aren't bad, but he's got a better chance of winning the championship.
All he wanted was the most money ever. That's all. And
that's all he wanted. Because $300 million was not enough.
Yeah, that's all he wanted. He wanted more money than Giancarlo.
He waited for the other two big names to sign too.
Yeah. Machado.
He got Machado and Arenado, and then he
signed Arenado's was an extension.
Signed for a little bit more. Arenado, 8-year. $260 million. I don't even know who that is.
I'll tell you what, that shows.
You don't know
no idea.
Nolan Arenado has been in the league 6 years, has 6 Gold Gloves.
That's awesome.
He is obviously, or not obviously, but he's arguably like the best third baseman in baseball. Obviously, he's got a little bit of an advantage. He's playing in Colorado, but he's gonna be there for 8 more years.
I don't have you on defense.
But let me tell you something. The thing with Machado, this shows that Machado values obviously money more than winning because San Diego ain't going nowhere fast.
Well, see, the thing about San Diego,
and the knock that's always been on Machado is how hard does he play? How hard does Machado play? And that just proves he just wants all his money.
The thing about San Diego is they're the number one. They have the number one ranked farm system right now. The reason he's going back to third base is because Fernando Tatis Jr. is the number 2 prospect in baseball. He's a shortstop's coming up, and teams out of the last 14 years. Teams with the number 1 rated farm system have been 13 of the 14 teams have been back in the playoffs within 2 seasons.
I mean, think about what we're saying here. You talking about Arenado's with Colorado. You talking about Machado goes to San Diego. You talk about Harper going to Philly. Guys, these are teams who are not echelon top of the league.
My thing,
they have that kind of money.
My thing that bothers me the most with Philly is not only did they overpay Bryce Harper, they've overpaid everybody they've signed this offseason. They gave Andrew McCutchen 3 years, $50 million, and he's 3 years past his prime.
I agree with that 100%.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
I mean, they were close last year to making the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean, you move Rhys Hoskins back to first base, which is his natural position, because you basically were playing 2 first basemen in the outfield during a large chunk of the season last year. The Phillies were arguably the worst defensive team in baseball last year, and they don't get better at that.
How much did they pay McCutchen? Because think about it,
3 years, $50 million, $17 million a year.
Right now they've got $380 million tied up in outfield.
Yeah.
Wait, you said $50 million?
Mm-hmm. 3 years,
$380 million tied up just in 2 outfielders. One of them's really just for speed. And McCutcheon is not, his bat's not as good as it was in Pittsburgh.
No, he's not even as fast as he used to be. And
that's age.
And like to say, they were arguably the worst defensive team in baseball. They didn't get better defensively. Bryce Harper is not a good defender.
They're trying to get a big bat so they can try and go back to the Ryan Howard days. And even then, they messed up when they gave him his contract. And I don't think that it's going to work. And I'll be honest, I think Ryan Howard at one point was better than Bryce Harper.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, probably. I mean,
Ryan Howard was special.
He was more important to his team probably than Bryce Harper was. Because think about it, the Nationals can still go win the division without Bryce Harper.
Yeah, they can.
With all the
phenomenal.
All the additions that they made, you go sign Brian Dozier. The only guy who signed a $100 million contract before Machado and Harper was Patrick Corbin, who they signed. They've got pieces there, and honestly, I think this is addition by subtraction, getting rid of Harper, because now Dave Martinez can be the manager. Like, he had to cater to Bryce Harper because they wanted to try and get him to stick around. Now he can go out and be whatever kind of manager he actually is instead of having to coddle a 25-year-old.
Saves them money.
Saves them $300 million.
Saves them $330 million. It does.
How many hot dogs got to sell for that?
But do you not blame Harper, man? He went for everything that he could get.
Oh, yeah. All right, Terry.
I mean, you don't blame him one bit.
I mean, no.
Now, if he knew he was going to get it.
It is now time for our daily somebody against Albert Pujols comparison. Let's look at Bryce Harper. Twice he had 100 runs in 7 years. He's played 7 years, so we're going to do Pujols 7 years. That's what we're going to do, Terry. Twice has Bryce Harper scored 100 runs. Pujols did it 6 out of 7 times. The year he didn't, 99. Doubles. Pujols 4 times has hit 40. Bryce Harper, never done it. 7 years, Bryce Harper hit 40 home runs 1 time. Pujols did it 4 times. Also had 38 and 33 and 38. The other 3. Bryce Harper, RBIs 1 time in his career, Terry. He's hit 100 RBIs. Pujols did it every year, first 10 years. 7 out of 7 if you want to go to 7 on that straight up. Doubles, home runs, caught stealings. How about batting average? Batting average. Bryce Harper 1 time, his best year, 330. Only one.
That was the MVP season.
Yep. Now that season he led the league in a lot of categories. I can't say nothing.
Yeah, he did.
That's like the Cam Newton MVP.
That's
season.
exactly who I
take
compare
it
him
out.
to.
Take his worst season
right.
out.
It's your outliers.
And he's got only one other year he hit 300. Pujols every year he hit 334 times, and that's Harper's best ever.
Well, Albert Pujols has Golden Gloves too.
Yep.
Bryce Harper's never going to get a Gold Glove.
Probably not.
I can't see it.
Carson, looking at the your on base percentages, batting average. Besides that 1 year, take that one out. But overall, 388. Pujols 421. 1,000 OPS. Bryce Harper's only done it twice. Pujols did it 5 times. Terry, how about strikeouts? 5 times Bryce Harper struck out 100 times. One other time 99. The other time 94. So 7 out of 7 years, 90+ strikeouts. You know how many times Albert Pujols struck out 100 times in his career?
Probably once.
None.
Oh. I know it wasn't many.
Only twice in his career has he struck out 90 times. So Bryce Harper's done that 7 out of 7 years.
Probably been like the last 2 seasons or something.
Nope, one of them was the last 2 seasons. The other one was his rookie year. So
well, he can't run to first base now. God bless him.
He's Babe Ruth now, or somebody else has got to run to first when he hits it. You ever play that game?
Yeah.
Total bases. How about this one? Bryce Harper 1 time in his career, his MVP year, has got 300 total bases. Pujols 300 total bases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 straight to start his career. 1 year he had 394 total bases. Albert Pujols did. Almost got 400 total bases. So, and this guy's getting $330 million. So good luck, Philadelphia. If you're a Braves fan, you should be happy.
Yeah.
They're done. They're not winning.
They don't have. I mean, they've got so much money.
Oh no, they're not.
Y'all should be so happy right now.
Philadelphia's not winning. The Nationals. I mean, they might take a step back this year.
But think about it. That's $330 million y'all can spend on players,
on pitchers,
compared to one guy they got.
Listen,
on a bullpen.
What bothers me about the Braves is for 3 or 4 years now they've 2018-19, that's when we're going to be able to spend money. That's when we got all the revenue coming in from SunTrust. What did they do this offseason? They signed Josh Donaldson and Brian McCann. What did we need? We need pitching. Obviously, Donaldson helps because then Camargo goes from everyday third baseman to super utility guy. He can play 3 positions on the infield. He can probably play corner outfield, which will help. I mean, he'll play in 100+ games probably, but I don't know. Maybe they're gonna finally trade some of these prospects because it's crazy that they haven't yet. Of all the pitching prospects that they have and have had,
Maybe they got somebody on the radar for the trade deadline.
I mean, maybe, and
that's what you're hoping.
And that's what I'm hoping. Maybe
Shout out to one of my high school classmates, Hayden Deal. He's part of their minor league system.
Maybe that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna go in and say, we had a good team last year. We're gonna wait and see what we need, and then we have the assets to go make a move.
I don't understand what they're waiting to see what they need. They know what they need. They need pitching. That was the only thing that hurt them last year was pitching.
Well, that and Snicker doesn't know how to manage.
Well, okay, I'll say this. That I think experience.
How many Braves fans call him Snickers?
I know a lot of people call him Snickers. My grandmother calls him Snickers.
It's not an exactly easy name just to let roll off your tongue. So how many boys down here in Georgia saying, "Oh, Snickers over here is doing it tonight, boys"?
I wouldn't be surprised. I bet he embraces it.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I wonder if
he's trying to get a candy deal.
I mean, I would. Yeah, dude. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to finish up with some Hornets talk. Terry, real quick before we go to break, NASCAR this Sunday in Vegas is this week. Looking at I was trying to pull up the starting lineups, but Terry, it's starting to look like last year on the qualifying. I think Hendricks was 9 through 20 in qualifying this weekend.
Hendricks did good last week qualifying down at Daytona.
That was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Last week they did not. Kevin Harvick's won 2 straight poles. So you go to Daytona.
He won 2 straight poles, but he didn't win. He didn't win Daytona.
That's right.
JGR won.
If Vegas goes like it did last night in the truck race, Kyle Busch led. He won the first series, he won the second series, then he won the race.
Well, Kyle Busch is the best driver in NASCAR. People won't admit it, but he is. He might not. Kevin Harvick had a great year last year, and Kyle Busch didn't win the playoff last year. But guess what? He was in every race. In every race, he was 31st. What was it? He was on at the 31st starting position down in Daytona. Still finished second.
That's what they were saying last night about the guys will be glad when he's gone. He's only going to race 5 times in the truck series. Yeah. And he raced last week and won. He's raced this week and won.
With racing, I think if you're a top tier NASCAR driver, leave it to the young guys to keep in Xfinity and trucks. I know you might love it. You might love racing trucks, but just get out.
But you're ruining somebody's chance.
You are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What I hate. Get out. Just get out.
It's not like they're doing it for money.
They're
not racing for cigarettes.
That would be like.
I mean, towards the end of the race last night, Moffitt closed all the way up on him, on his tailback, and then as they went into turn 2 or 3, next thing you know, Kyle Busch is running away.
I mean, it would be like Bryce Harper and Mike Trout going down to AA.
Yeah.
Just because they want to play baseball.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Well, we'll take a break, JP, and we're going to come back. We'll finish up with our Hornets talk and get out of here on should be a nice Saturday.
Better than yesterday.
Look out the corner of the window.
Kind of.
You know what I might be doing today? If Calvin gets out and about, might be building a racetrack in the backyard. Building a dirt track through the woods for the go-karts and 4-wheelers. Power wheels.
That's always fun.
So hopefully it dries up a little bit. We can get out there.
Good luck with that. Even though the sun will come out, the ground's so saturated.
I know, right? It is.
We're bush hogging and marking corners today.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the briars,
right.
dude. Yeah. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes. I'm trying to pull up the starting lineup here real quick for the NASCAR series. This computer is just slow as Christmas. I got to log into JP's in there, but. Harvick is on the pole, and like I said, the Hendricks boys are in the teens again, so it's looking a lot more like it was last year. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Say, kids, what time is it?
This is the 60s.
Hey, J.J. Wilson here, reminding you to tune in this weekend for This is the 60s, featuring the best music from the best decade and so much more. There's 60s television, movies, news, pop culture, trivia, novelty songs, interviews, deep cuts, and a whole lot more. It's peace, love, and rock and roll. on This is the 60s.
This is the 60s, Friday mornings from 10 a.m. till 12 noon on The Boss, WOHS, AM and FM in Shelby, WLON in Lincolnton. It's a triple header of savings at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Save 3 big ways on 3 of your favorites. Right now, buy a brand new Kia for as low as $14,998. But hurry, only 15 are left on the lot at this low price. And right now, brand new Honda Accords start at $21,000 and save up to $10,660 on a brand new GMC truck. Yes, it's a triple header of savings at Renato Kia, Renato Honda, and Renato Buick GMC. All conveniently located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
It's the 30th anniversary of NBA basketball in Charlotte, and the Hornets are writing the latest chapter in Charlotte basketball history with their first-year head coach, James Borrego. Fast-paced and high-flying. Join the new voice of Charlotte Hornets basketball, Chris Kroger, and 10-year NBA veteran Matt Carroll as they deliver every thrilling moment of Hornets hoops all season long on the Charlotte Hornets Radio Network.
Here's Charlotte Hornet basketball right here on the Boss in Carolina Country. WHS, WCSL, and WLON. Online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
It's time to play at the Green Meadows Golf Course on Kelly Road in Mount Holly. Play and ride Monday through Friday for $25. Weekends just $30. Seniors ride and play Monday through Friday for $20. And every Wednesday is Ladies' Day. Ladies play and ride for just $15. So make your tee time now by calling the Green Meadows Golf Course, 704-827-9264. Green Meadows Golf Course, 957 Kelly Road in Mount Holly.
There's no one like you. And Pandora Jewelry is opening up all kinds of possibilities to show that to the world with the new open bangle. Beautifully crafted from sterling silver with new interchangeable end caps. You can mix, match, and even have the freedom to customize like never before. Shop the new open bangle from Pandora Jewelry now and do see the wonderful Pandora Jewelry. Available at Facet Foundry Jewelry Studios, 530 South New Hope Road, Gastonia. Online at FacetFoundryJewelry.com. Carolina Country, 92.3.
Talking low NCAA basketball coming in here.
Depends on your seed.
My
Terry,
favorite point, my favorite thing about it is we'll argue over the 4th, 5th, and 6th best football teams, but we know exactly who the 68th and 69th best basketball teams are in the country. It's fun to me. Hornets basketball. They win big last night in Brooklyn. They needed that. This team they're actually fighting with for a playoff
The coach
spot.
was mad at the coach from Charlotte last night.
Who was mad at who?
Coach, who's the Brooklyn coach?
I don't know. That just
he
shows
didn't
you how
kind of like how the
relevant
end of the
Kenny
game
Atkinson.
was. Yeah, he did not like how the game ended.
Well, I'll be honest.
Oh, that's ironic.
You mean he lost?
Yeah. I think, but I'll say this.
Because the ending of the last Hornets-Nets game was,
I mean,
right
I'll
on
say
the
this.
money.
I don't think Coach Borrego's a very good coach. I'm just going to put it out there.
He threw. Did you see he throw the L sign at him last night?
No.
Did you see that?
What?
Borrego gave the other coach the L and didn't shake his hand. At the end of the game,
Oh, at
game
the
was
end
over.
they left.
Borrego just waved at him with the L.
Yeah,
and
but
did
that
this,
was
and then
from
walked out.
what happened
Nice.
earlier because the coach
Nice.
from Brooklyn was looking at him like, you foul. Why you foul? The game's over. I mean, why are you fouling so you can get more points? I mean, he was raising Cain at him.
I'm serious. I don't think
And they're up
Borrego's.
by like 13 or
I
14.
realized Borrego wasn't a good coach when I was there covering the Clippers and the Hornets game. And the Hornets blew a 20-point lead, and they lost on a last-second shot.
He said something silly, didn't he?
Yeah, they lost on a last-second shot by Tobias Harris. So, of course, we go there, and Tobias Harris ended the night with 34 points, okay? 34, okay? You think you might want to try and stop him, but that's beside the point. I went back there to when they were talking with Coach Borrego, and I said, of course, none of the other reporters there are going to ask him these questions because they all have their noses stuffed in their computers during the game.
God.
But don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that. Anyways, but I asked Coach Borrego, I said, Coach, Tobias Harris had a great night tonight. He finished the night with 34 points. Did you not think with their final possession with seconds left on the clock, maybe you need to guard the one with the hot hand tonight, I don't know, the 6'7", 6'8" small forward who's going to town on you guys tonight? He said, no, I was worried about Lou Williams. Lou Williams finished the night with maybe like 20 points, and he's like, a 6'3", 6'4" shooting guard. You didn't want to stop the 6'8" all-star contending small forward who's got 32 at the time and could drive past any of your not to mention your team had a defensive lack and was let up a 20-point lead. But you didn't think in the final seconds, because this is what's so funny. There was a girl sitting near me, one of the reporters. She works for a company that I interned with at one point, and I talked to her for a second. And I said it loud enough to where they could hear us. I said, it's going to be a down screen for Tobias Harris, and he's going to win the game for him. She looked over at me, because I know she heard me, because I said it loud enough. I wanted them to hear me, to let them know, hey, this is what's going to happen, and I don't want to see y'all's faces in shock. And that's exactly what happened. And do you think they guarded him? No, he got an easy drive to the lane. He got the ball, down screen, got the ball at the top of the key, and just drove the lane and finished it with a 0.2 left. And I was like, if you're the head coach, Carson, if you're the head coach, and you're playing against a team, and there's a guy on their team that's got 32, who do you think's getting the ball in the final second?
John Paxson.
I'm guarding the guy that hadn't scored yet. He's always going to be the winner.
You think? You think? I'm just saying, this ain't a LeBron James team where he's kicking it to the corner, okay? Yeah. This is a team where the guy's got the hot hand, and you as the head coach were worried about a three-point shooter when it's easier to stop a three-pointer than a guy who could drive the lane and not only score but possibly just get fouled and win it at the free throw line. So, I'm just saying, when he told me that, he was worried about Lou Williams, who has been known to just be a sixth man over their star player for the Clippers. I was in shock.
So this week we've had, Carson, which game did you go to?
Shelby Mount Pleasant.
Not that one.
Oh,
NBA
sorry.
Hornets.
Yes, you were. Sorry, that was the recent one. Hornets Nets. Yeah.
So you were actually the first Nets game.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
That was the one where they came back from 19 down and then lost in the last minute.
I went to the Warriors. Addison went to the Rockets the other night. So I got some interviews at the Warriors with Durant and Steph and Steve Kerr. I haven't cut up Kerr's yet. I may just put his whole thing on here, but I did get a few snippets. I didn't ask any questions.
Yeah.
The one question I do want to ask them at one point, and I just hadn't got the nerve or balls, I guess, to ask about it.
Kerr?
No, just to any of them. Curry and Kevin I just want to say, hey guys, what does Jordan and the Hornets have to do to make Charlotte a free agent destination? Would that be a good one?
I think it's a great question.
I'd like to see someone dodge that. I want to see how they dodge that.
It's not a bad city. There's obviously some, you go in and playing for Michael Jordan's team. Sure, and we're, a top 10
thing
market
about it
now?
Think
top 25 market.
No, it's top 10.
It is.
I mean, think about how often do you hear quotes from three guys that are big names that work in the front offices now? How often do you hear quotes from Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird?
Well, you hear something from Magic.
Well, you hear stuff from Magic, but it's talking about Magic and about how he tampered. It's not necessarily you don't get a
You're
quote.
right.
You don't get a quote from Magic.
Now,
you don't get a quote
the
from Bird.
quietest one out of all of them is Bird.
Oh yeah,
Bird doesn't say anything.
Shocker.
Yeah, Bird.
I mean, the only time he talked was on the court.
Kevin McHale, I watched him the other night. He was talking about Larry. He goes, let me tell you something about Larry. He said, Larry's the biggest smack talker ever. He said he never shut up at all. He said, and he gets here in the NBA, and he gets in the front office now, and if anybody asks him today, he swears he never said a word. He said, he's such a liar. He said, don't let Larry lie to you guys.
What's so funny is, like, Larry Bird was the biggest trash talker, and he's one of the quietest GMs.
That's
and then Danny Ainge is over there, and he is the loudest GM.
McHale was talking about Ainge trying to get Bird traded late in his career away from Boston. Like, who was Danny Ainge at that point? I didn't know.
Yeah, boy.
And Ainge ended up in Phoenix. All right, I'm gonna give you some of the quotes and stuff from some of the guys. You want to hear from Steph or KD first?
Steph, your hometown kid.
So this is Steph on struggling in his hometown. Since you mentioned that, we'll start there. Maybe.
Take your time, Internet.
Let's go ahead and fill this.
Got nights like that before. Just you obviously want to shoot the lights out when you're here. This is my one time coming here. From the All-Star game to this, I think I'm like a collective. Do the math. 8 for 31 or something like that from 3. So not great, but I enjoy the atmosphere. Try to do little things how my team wins. Not get caught up in the stats.
so that was him talking about.
You
know,
see that? You see what's
there.
behind him? That how they have the champions.
Yeah.
All this.
That banner is 3 foot by 3 foot. That's not like a wall banner. That is, you can see the duct tape in the corner. Like they they don't even have a place for the other team to hang a banner like nicely.
Yeah,
they duct tape that jugger to the wall.
Yeah, boy.
I'm sure the paint crew's like, I hate you guys. Steph Curry on struggling in his hometown. Here's him talking about though them winning and starting the road trip off right. Takes a second for it to.
We talked about how 48 hours ago was not a great feeling. So crossing the country, starting the 4-game road trip out the right way. It was good momentum, or starting to build good momentum. I told the guys before we left the hallway to take the court. I need this one in Charlotte to help me.
So he said he needed the win in Charlotte. Now here's another one on.
Got nice like that.
This is real quick. This is him talking about. And this is kind of a funny moment. Got him to laugh. Curry's being funny, facetious here. Boogie got a tech in the game. Can't remember who lost their shoe, but a Hornet lost his shoe. Boogie was standing there, bent over, picked it up, and threw it out of bounds.
Which
Thomas
you
Davis
should.
caught it. Dude.
Yeah.
You should.
Dude.
You kick it out of bounds. You don't have to do that.
You don't want to roll your ankle.
Yeah, he said next time I'll just leave it there and blow
my
ACL.
Achilles.
Blow my Achilles.
He could throw it down the other end of the court. I mean, he threw it in the front row. He didn't throw it in the 10th row.
He didn't get the T-shirt gun and shoot it up in the
I
upper
was standing
deck.
there. He bent over, grabbed it, and sidearmed it like that just to get it out of the way. It was, and then they threw the tech on him.
It's because it's Boogie.
And they all just
do you not think the same thing would happen to Rasheed Wallace if he did it?
Yes.
It's because you have a track record.
Rasheed got text for looking at refs.
Yeah.
Remember, he looked at refs and they gave him text. So all right.
Well, Tim Duncan got a tech for laughing.
Yeah, he did. This is Curry talking about the Boogie Cousins shoe throw.
You just gotta be a little bit more delicate throwing it to the side. Like horseshoes, you know. You just gotta touch the line and let it sit down. Not doing those things. He's too strong. That's all. Too strong.
So Curry was saying he was just too strong with the throw, and if you're watching, you go online to KDC and want to see the video. You folks watching now, and he kind of steps, goes, you got to be like a little bit. What did he say? A little softer with it, a little easier with it, but it's more finesse with it.
Yeah.
So he's just being a little silly there, having fun. All right, now here's Kevin Durant talking about Steph returning to his hometown.
Steph had an off night for him shooting in his hometown. You guys feel like you wanted to pick him up to let him win here? He said he mentioned it to
you. I mean, obviously, you know how important it is for him to come back home and, you know, in front of friends and family. Definitely wanted to play well. I thought he had some shots that looked good. It just didn't fall. That's just the name of the game sometimes, but he still played hard.
All right, now this is him talking about his
feels
success the
good
past
to
few
come
weeks in
to
Charlotte with the MVP
and,
All-Star game.
He's successful this year. You know, it was a fun week here, All-Star weekend. Just fans in Charlotte were amazing, so you know, shout out to them. And tonight they came with it.
And now this is Kevin talking about having to stop. What do you do to stop Kemba
Kemba
Walker?
is 6'1" point guard, and I mean we got a lot of length, so we try to put a couple bodies on him. He's their go-to scorer, and just about everybody in the world knows that. So there's no hiding him, and he plays. He's tough to stop, so we got to have a couple guys coming over to help. You know, so it wasn't like one guy just shut him down. So
a couple of things I want to mention about Durant before we go on. I thought it was very interesting just seeing them in person and how they interacted with each other. Right there, Durant, if you'll notice, he's actually squatted down so we can reach him. Like you saw that the hands in his face, he is squatted down. Like he's very nice. He was very nice about that. Every single person I saw that asked Kevin Durant for a picture in the down low, you know, we've got reporters in there asking for pictures with him, and they, you know, some of the players, and they bring fans and family too. So every single person that wanted a picture with him, he stopped, took a picture with him, and talked to, and he was actually really nice about. He's just curt with the media. I will say that. Now I will take a few things that I noticed by the way they acted. I'm not sure he's coming back next year. In the pregame, they all came together before they went out the tunnel, had a little quick prayer, and I'm looking around. I was like, "Where's Kevin Durant?" And they all get together, 1, 2, 3, and they all ran out the tunnel together. As soon as they went around the corner, here comes Durant around the corner by himself. Then he stretches by himself. He says a prayer by himself. Then he walks out by himself. So
Maybe he's in the bathroom, man.
I don't know. I'm not. You can't read. You can't. I don't know what to read into it. All I'm saying is that he wasn't out there with them. But then you say, him and Draymond's been getting into it. But think about this. When the Warriors lost to the Cavaliers, who went out in the parking lot right after the game and called Kevin Durant? It was Draymond Green that called Kevin Durant. It wasn't Steph. It wasn't Clay. It was Draymond that said, we need you. Yeah. So they went after him. They went and got him. So the rift between Draymond and Kevin, I think that rift is because they might think he might be leaving. And he might be. So I'm not sure how to read all that. Durant was just fantastic in that game. Charlotte could do nothing with him. Boogie, it was his coming out party, and there was articles all over the internet about how great he played, but he gave up 28 to Cody Zeller. So Cody had his career high that night. So Boogie, he did play well offensively. And
Cody Zeller's more athletic than Boogie Cousins.
I think Chris Broussard was. He is. Chris Broussard was pointing out that that Boogie on the floor and off the floor, they're way better with him off than on stats on the advanced stats wise. But it's going to be hard for him to leave after they win 3 in a row. I think with a chance to win 4, and it's never been done since the Celtics.
Yeah, it goes way back.
So Terry, I don't know. But we got to get out of here. Hornets now, after the win last night,
29-33,
have moved up into
32.
Well, they're in the 8th spot, 29-33.
Well, they were sharing it, and now they've got it back sole possession.
Yeah. Orlando is a half a game behind them. Miami is a game and a half, and how in the world your Wizards are even win a game this year? I don't know.
I'm just glad we played Washington last night. We got that losing streak done.
I bet you are. I bet a lot of teams are happy.
All right, we got to go tonight. There's the schedule. We've got basketball and Carson Dockery in the post-game show. Carson will be on about 9:30 to 11 tonight.
I'll call you.
Basketball, we've got Wheatmore at East Lincoln.
Yeah.
And we've got Shelby versus Mountain Heritage. Mountain Heritage at Shelby, Wheatmore at East Lincoln tonight on WLON and WHS. This afternoon, we've got Michigan State versus Indiana on WLON and WHS. We've got the Boyd game in 300 Xfinity Racing at 3:30 on WCSL. And tomorrow, we've got the Portland Trailblazers at Charlotte. That's 1 p.m. I did not know that. I'm supposed to go to that game.
Matinee.
I need to check that.
No, I think it's 3.
Is it 3?
I think I just saw them.
It's changed again. We'll check it and see. We've got the Hornets tomorrow, and also NASCAR race tomorrow, Pennsville 400. Terry, Kevin Hart going to win that one this time? Is he going to hold on?
Kyle Busch.
You got Kyle Busch for it? All right. For Carson Dockery, you got any final thoughts, or Hunter, anything?
The Hurricanes are really good. Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah. They're really good. They are I think they've won 10 of their last 12, 4 in a row. And
that's hockey for some of you folks.
Yes, hockey.
Yeah, hockey.
Yes.
The best sport on razor blades.
And I'll also leave us with this. We want to talk all. We want to talk all about this. Contract for Bryce Harper. Let us not forget, Bobby Bonilla still getting paid, and will still get paid when his contract runs up in Philadelphia. All
right, guys, we got to go. We'll see you next week on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Campers in Breakfast. Campers in Saturday Sports. Mitchem's Kitchen Breakfast Biscuits for everybody. We'll get it out. All right, tonight basketball, Tuesday basketball and baseball as well. We'll see you next week. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Across the foothills, mostly cloudy skies will give way to a little bit of